show Yamada waking up in heaven with 3 cute and curvy slave girls getting comfortable in the morning. After an intense session, Ikeda is reminded that he has to go to work in the morning as well. That's when he realizes that he's been entertaining his intrusive thoughts a bit too much, and he actually has to earn his living. Now, we see him in a potion store as he welcomes his customers with his slave girls standing right behind him. It turns out that his potions are quite famous, as the customers ask him for a wide variety of potions, right from thawing potion F to recovery potions D and E. One of the slave girls named Kania is told to get some of the spare potion from the back. But then a beast girl says that she will get it done since she is already close to the room. Our hero is glad to see his slave girls enjoying their work, and then he takes a look at all the recovery potions he has in front of him. Ikeda shows us that there are lots of combinations to work with, as you can also use detoxification potions. After taking a look at all the potions he has made today, Ikeda is happy with the final products, and is sure that he will make a good sale today. Then, he introduces himself to us and states that he is in the fantasy world of Borginia. Of course, there's a lot more to this story than just running a small shop, so Ikeda reveals that he has been hiding a secret from everyone in this world. Not too long ago, he was a regular store clerk at a shop back in his original world of Japan. However, one fine day as he got done with his shift and returned home, he saw someone standing right in front of him. It was a goddess who was cuter and curvier than any girl he had ever seen his entire life. This goddess's name is Iritelis, and her looks were more than enough to freeze our hero. Suddenly, he found himself inside an unknown space, which was completely blank and white. He panicked for a bit and wanted to know where he had been brought to. Iritelis calmed him down by saying he was selected to be reincarnated in another world, and this was something which was quite popular at the time. She then asked Ikeda if he would like to go to another world, but her saw only two things in our hero's mind back then. Iritelis realized that Ikeda was filled with intrusive thoughts at the time, so she took his blank staring as a yes and proceeded with the reincarnation. She also said that she would give him some skills as a parting gift, and he could use that to survive in his new world. Ikeda had no idea what the goddess meant at the time, but then he felt an odd sensation and suddenly found himself inside another world. Of course, this was a completely new environment for him, but since he was quick to adapt, our hero did not face too many hassles while adjusting to his new world. His nerd skills helped him to identify precious metals, and then he focused on the skills that the goddess had blessed him with. These skills included potion making, appraisal, storage, cleansing, and language comprehension. This was a bit too much for him to handle at the beginning, but luckily for him, the townsfolk helped Ikeda out and even gave him a room at an inn. After some complex calculations to help him understand the yen and coin conversion rate, Ikeda realized that since he had 16,000 yen in his pocket, he had a decent collection of gold, silver, and copper coins. One night at an inn was roughly 1 silver coin, which translated to 1,000 yen, which meant that he could live comfortably for a few days. The important thing was to check out his status, so he opened his stat bar instantly to assess his skills. Sadly, he did not have much to brag about as a combat hero. The goddess did not bless him with any magic or fighting skills, so Ikeda was essentially a weak boy. He could not become an adventurer, but he could definitely make something work out of this whole situation. Ikeda figured that he could use his potion skills to make and sell potions in this world, but he had no idea what the pricing was for these potions. In order to understand this side better, our hero decided to ask questions around town and try to use whatever he could get. At first, he tried to buy bottles and potion F samples to get an idea, and he was also told that the prices of these potions were ranked. If you can make a potion that is from rank B to rank A, then you have a good chance of bringing in the nobles and the royal family to hire you. Ikeda did not want to start off with potion B, because that could put him in a tight spot if anyone were to ask him for bulk production. The best way forward was to make potion F, and that's exactly what he did. Ikeda did not know how to make a potion, so he simply used his potion making skills to create a bottle of potion F. It worked out nicely, so our hero continued to make potions day and night, till he finally had a good collection to boast of. This did take a lot of effort and energy, but the main thing now is to sell these potions. Ikeda is not exactly a businessman, so he needs to get more acquainted with the ways of selling in this world. In order to do that, he decides to visit a marketplace, and he is shocked to see the kinds of people walking around over here. This is the Guild of Commerce, but he can't find much of use just yet. Of course, the scenery is beautiful and the girls are curvy, but it's important not to get lost in intrusive thoughts right now. Ikeda is called to the reception and greeted by an extremely curvy babe who has soft pillows the size of his head. As expected, Ikeda can't really take his eyes off the goods. After he comes back to his senses, our hero tells the reception girl that he would like to open a stall. She asks him for how long he would like to do it, so he figures he can do a trial run for a day. The charges for the same are only 1 silver coin, so it gets Ikeda thinking about how seriously he can take this hustle. The girl with the soft pillows says that our hero can choose the area he would like to lease as well, and he can also get an area that gets a lot of pedestrian traffic. Ikeda likes what he hears, but he does not want to be so far away from the heart of the city. This is fine for the reception girl, and she decides to grant the permit for a day. Once again, Ikeda can only focus on her soft so he does not pay attention to anything she says. Eventually, the pillow girl says that our hero is all set to start his own stall, and he says that he will do his best for her and her soft pillows. This meeting with the pillow girl actually makes Ikeda realize that this world is filled with tons of cute and curvy babes. Our hero believes that he might have come here for money, but he has a whole new world of possibilities due to the pretty girls that seem to be available in abundance. This has given him the motivation to do even better with his stall. With that, we see Ikeda sitting at his stall with a set of potions. There are not a lot of people in this area, but that is fine for Ikeda because he knows his potions will definitely sell. Of course, he'll have to be patient, but he eventually starts to doubt himself when nobody shows up to buy anything from him. At one point, Ikeda considers packing up and leaving, but he decides to keep at it for a bit longer. More time passes by, and he starts starving as he has not eaten anything just yet. But then Ikeda finally sees some hope when a couple of men come up to him, asking if his potions are for sale. Our hero is a bit nervous, but ends up answering the query because he does not want to mess this up. The men are shown to be adventurers, and they ask Ikeda if he has the recovery potions C and D. They are in luck because our hero does happen to have 2 C potions and 6 D potions. The men ask him to sell all of them, and this comes as a bit of a surprise to him. Anyway, Ikeda sells the potions and celebrates the fact that he has made some money today. That's when he learns that the adventurers are very impressed by what they see in his potions, as they do not seem to contain any impurities at all. They even discuss that these potions could sell for a lot more, and this makes Ikeda a bit interested. The men talk about how they don't like to drink potions very often, since it is important to stay focused when you're going out on adventures. Most of the potions have lots of impurities in them, and this makes them taste bitter. Due to this taste, the adventurers are not able to stay focused, which is why they prefer to have nice and tasty potions. The adventurers seem to be interested in the other potions Ikeda is selling, so he reveals he has recovery potions D and E as well. Eventually, our hero ends up selling out all of his potions, and his total earnings are 3 gold coins and a silver coin. Ikeda can live comfortably off his earnings for a few days, and then he recalls what one of the adventurers was saying. His name is revealed to be Hawkeye, and he stated that he was a part of a famous team. Due to this, it is possible that a lot more people will end up coming to buy potions from Ikeda in the future. This is why he decides to make a lot more potions for the potential customers that will come his way tomorrow. Everything works out as per our hero's plan, and he gets sold out the next day again. As a matter of fact, Ikeda has made 9 gold coins today, so he decides to add up his total sales. It roughly translates to over 200,000 yen, which should be more than enough to cover the entire month. Ikeda states that he can also spare some cash to get a bit of entertainment for himself. The only thing now is to figure out what to do for his entertainment in this new world. The first thing is to take a shower after a hard day's work, so Ikeda uses his cleaning skill for a quick session. Now that he's ready for action, he thinks about going to an S-rank shady place. However, Ikeda decides against it, and instead goes to a C-rank place named Red Rose. The reception man greets Ikeda and asks him if this is his first time at such a place. He says yes, so the man reveals that the rate is 1 silver coin for 15 minutes. In a shocking revelation, Ikeda decides to pay for a whopping 2.5 hours. The reception man is pleased to hear this, so he offers a list of women for our hero to choose from. These girls are cute and curvy, so it's a bit surprising to see this kind of quality in a C-rank outlet. Ikeda explains to us that the reason he has come to this place is because of massive. The thing about this world is that they look at some as extra fat, which is why C-rank girls have the best bodies. Thin girls are seen as a rank and S-rank beauties. So it all works out for Ikeda, since he has come from a world that has good taste in women. Now, our hero sets his eyes on an absolute babe, whose soft pillows would be extremely hard to beat in any world. The girl's name is Listina, and Ikeda says that he would like to spend his time with her. The reception man says that he will make sure to send Listina over to Ikeda's room. And it turns out that our hero had actually set his eyes on her right from the very beginning. He was actually on the entertainment district when he found Listina as she was standing on the other side of the display window. He could not take his eyes off her because there is no woman who could match up to her good looks. Back to the present. Ikeda is ready to finally spend the night with Listina. He is very nervous to go ahead with this, but then he reminds himself that he is not the same man he used to be in his previous life. Our hero makes a potion and drinks it to help himself, after which we see his stat bar, which has some really impressive numbers. Suddenly, our hero hears someone asking to enter the room, and he turns around to see the gorgeous Listina in front of him. She thanks him for his request and says that she looks forward to spending her time with him today. Things are about to get really hot and heavy for our hero, but he needs to be up to the task. Listina calls out to Ikeda by his name, and her curvy body is looking more and more attractive to our hero with each passing second. After all, she has beautiful, silky silver hair and burning red eyes. Listina is a little sweet and lush as well. But the most important thing is that Ikeda can see 20 rounds in 45 minutes. This is a miracle, even blessed with an immortality skill and massive size. Our hero also wonders if this is because of Listina, as she has an amazingly curvy body that's smooth as also came in handy, and she seems to have a lot of sweet spots. Listina seems to have fallen asleep after such a strong session, so our hero wakes her up. She realizes that she is not being professional, so she says sorry for passing out. Ikeda tells her it's fine because he has been satisfied by their session. He proceeds to offer Listina a drink and wants to know if she would be interested in having it as part of an experiment. She does drink it and senses a lot of new energy entering her body, much to her amazement. Ikeda explains that the drink is actually a new potion that he has made, and he wanted to rejuvenate Listina since he still has an hour left. Our hero wants to talk to her for a bit, and she does as he says. Listina reveals that most of her clients don't even engage in their intrusive thoughts with her, and the ones that do usually don't last more than 1 or 2 sessions. She has never met anyone who has the kind of skills that our hero does, so it's a proud moment for him. Apparently, in this new world, shady acts are a simple in and out thing. Ikeda comments that this is a huge waste because it means that beauties such as Listina can't be enjoyed the way she should. This explains why the basic rule is a simple and short session, and it also explains why everyone was so shocked when Ikeda asked for more than 2 hours with Listina. Apart from that, Listina was also fulfilled when she saw our hero embracing her. She is extremely happy that Ikeda was able to do well, because no one else has been able to do that. This makes our hero shy, and he tries to play nice, even though he has just done the most unspeakable things imaginable to Listina over the past hour. Now that everything is done with, Ikeda decides to leave and Listina wishes him farewell. She is always open to service him again, and he instantly says that he will be back here tomorrow. As he goes back home, Ikeda also thinks back to all the things Listina told him about herself. It turns out that she also has a child, which came as a huge shock to our hero. She has one boy at the moment, and she is staying with her estranged husband, whom she had left 3 years ago. It makes sense to our hero that someone as beautiful as Listina was married at one point, but he wonders why her husband would let her go. And then, he got the biggest shocker of his entire life. Listina's husband left her because for him. Basically, when they had gotten married, Listina was a slim and flat girl, but after having her child, her started to grow to extraordinary proportions. Her husband did not like this, as the people of this world have terrible taste in women, and then once their son grew past the age of infancy, they separated. Back to the present, Ikeda is still trying to figure out why any sane man would let go of clothes. It can never make any sense to a man of culture such as himself. And then he enters a cafe only to be greeted by a cute girl. She welcomes him inside and confirms if he is alone right now, after which she seats him at a solo table. Ikeda scans the area, and he sees cute but flat girls all over the place, which is what makes it stand out. All the customers seem to like the fact that these flat girls are coming to talk to them. So the flawed logic of this world is surely a real thing. Ikeda is conflicted, but he has to accept the reality of this world, and it is actually good news for him. Basically, he will not have any rivals over here whenever he goes for curvy babes, and this will make his life a lot easier. He does not mind handing over all the cute and curvy ones. The waitress comes over to take his order, and then our hero digs into a nice and tasty meal. In the middle of his dining, he is greeted by the adventurer Hawkeye once again, who immediately recognizes him as the owner of the potion store. He wants to sit with Ikeda, and our hero senses something promising, so he allows Hawkeye to have a seat. The adventurer tells Ikeda that he has a favor he would like to ask of him, but it's a bit too ambitious. He has bought tons of potions from Ikeda in the past, but now he wants him to make something that is of an even higher grade. Ikeda wants to know exactly how high of a rank Hawkeye wants his potion to be, and then he learns that it's because the adventurer wants to go deep into the dungeon. This makes sense, because the monsters of the dungeon only grow stronger and stronger with each level. Hawkeye will definitely need a better potion if he is to recover from all the damage he will be taking there. Ikeda is in two minds about this right now, but Hawkeye is not going to leave till he gets a yes. On top of that, he would also like to see some strengthening potions and antidote potions. This is clearly a lot to ask from someone like Ikeda, who has only just come to this world. Our hero lets Hawkeye know that this is going to cost him a lot of money, but he counters that these potions will save his life, so any price will be a small price to pay for that. In the night, Ikeda gets to work and comments on how being an adventurer is a very lucrative position. As he prepares his potions, our hero tells us that he does find dungeons to be a bit fascinating. He likes the whole idea of fighting monsters and stuff, but since he does not like pain, he would much rather just sit here and make potions all day. He admits that he has avoided making high-rank potions as it may draw the wrong kind of attention towards him, and the one time he actually tried to make one, he had failed. For some reason, the word potion does not seem to work on the bottle, which means that Ikeda will need to try something else. After some serious efforts, Ikeda notices that he has made potion B, which is a lot stronger than potion C. He is a bit confused as to how he was able to do it now when he had failed just yesterday trying to do the exact same thing. Ikeda is genuinely curious as to how he was able to do this. It could be that he has leveled up, but it's not like he's fought any monsters till now. Something has to be different about him today that has enabled him to make a stronger potion. And that's when it hits Ikeda that the only change in his body today is that he has engaged in shady acts with Listina. Either way, he has still not made something as potent as Potion A, so he might try something different tomorrow. The next day, we see Ikeda touching some caterpillars of this new world, and they are a lot larger than the ones he had seen in Japan. He seems to be a bit too excited about his new life, as he also spends his time touching the walls of another world, and also seriously breathing the air of another world. His eyes also seem to fall upon another heavenly sight. And it's good to know that cute girls have the same dressing sense in this world as they do in Japan. Ikeda seems to have a thing for the girl he has just seen, but it could be because of the clothes he just saw by accident. This is all it takes to remind him of Listina, and then Ikeda's intrusive thoughts take over him again. On that note, he heads over to the shady place to do more shady things with his new favorite mom. He misses Listina a lot, but our hero needs to focus because he has potions to make today as well. He still does not know how he was able to make Potion B last night, but there has to be some kind of explanation for it. And for now, it all points to his multiple sessions with the curvy babe. He needs to find some clues if he is to finish the product, but he decides to visit the shady place first, and it does not look like it's for research purposes. Listina is extremely happy to see Ikeda because he has come to meet her again so soon. As expected, the both of them engage, and even Listina is shocked by how extreme our heroes go. After their intense session, Listina asks if Ikeda has more work to do, and that's when he realizes that he has to make more potions today. Our hero says goodbye to Listina and laments the fact that he has let his intrusive thoughts win once again. He has to make more potions as soon as possible, but it is starting to get darker and darker with each passing moment. Ikeda has also worked up an appetite after his session with Listina, so he goes have lunch in another world. He enjoys his meal to the fullest, and then he rushes back home to make more potions. To his surprise, he notices that he is now able to make Potion A, which is a lot stronger than Potion B. Ikeda still does not know how he was able to do this, and starts to think of possibilities other than Listina. None of that matters to him anymore because the important thing is that he can make both Potion B as well as Potion A. Since he has been able to make it once, he will be able to do so over and over again like a piece of cake, now that he has his bases covered. Ikeda needs to do what Hawkeye had asked him to do, which was to make an enhancement potion. He succeeds in doing this, and the next day, Hawkeye is stunned by the quality on display. He lauds our hero and says that he knows how to make some seriously good potions. Ikeda is just glad that he has a happy customer, and he gets paid for it handsomely. It's a good day for him, because apart from whatever he sold to Hawkeye, Ikeda ends up selling out yet again. Nowadays, he has become so popular that his potions sell out within the middle of the morning itself. It's a big deal that celebrities are also buying his potions, and Ikeda is very grateful for it. With sales going so well, our hero will get more time to make more potions, and he can also sneak in another shady session with Listina. The most important thing for a fellow adventurer is to do some research, so a person in a knight's armor explores Ikeda's store, since it's the one that Hawkeye and his friends usually visit. Our hero also notices the knight standing there without saying anything, and he starts to assess what he sees, but then he notices something that stands out. It appears as if she is a woman. Normally, a person would ask the knight some questions, but Ikeda is a different breed of simp as he finds himself at the shady place once again, and he is greeted by the reception man with a bright smile on his face. He knows Ikeda by name now, and he also knows his usual demand. It turns out that Ikeda is now booking Listina for 6 hours rather than 2. which means that he has turned into the ultimate simp. As he enters the room, Lestina gleefully hugs him, as if her new husband has come back home. These gestures start to make our hero feel some kind of way towards the curvy babe, and he does not want to let her go. Now, it's time to go to their bed, and Isekai'd can only think about how cute and pretty Lestina looks when she smiles at him. This time, Isekai'd wants to start off slow, so he asks Lestina for a kiss, and this kicks off yet another shady session within the same day. After a fiery session, Lestina says that she had no idea lips could be locked this way. She is really glad to have met our hero, and then she suggests trying something new with him. So there's no way Isekai'd is going to say no to that. The sensations are way too good for our hero to resist, and he compliments Lestina on how the curvy babe also thinks about how Isekai'd is a sweet and gentle man. Isekai'd says sorry for spraying too much water, but Lestina says that she actually enjoyed it as it tasted like nectar to her. Such talk will make any man of culture lose his mind, and that's exactly what happens to our hero as well. Animal and decides to give her a nice session. She tells him not to push himself, but he is as eager as he acts that simply cannot even be illustrated. Lestina is extremely tired from her session, and Isekai'd realizes that he has exhausted her a bit too much, so he offers her the recovery potion. She recognizes it as she has gotten used to the energy boost, and even Isekai'd confirms that it is a potion he makes for his store. Lestina is as good as new after drinking the potion, and she asks Isekai'd how such a thing is possible even after doing time. Our hero reveals that it's thanks to Lestina that his sales are going higher and higher, and he feels even better having told her about it. Such things motivate Isekai'd a lot, and Lestina starts to blush over what she hears. It's time to go home and get ready for work. But before he leaves, Lestina wishes him all the best as if she is his wife. She also says that he can come and visit her if he feels tired because she will be there for him. The only thing on her mind is treating Isekai'd well and making him feel better, which makes our hero blush. Lestina asks Isekai'd to come and visit her as many times as he wants if he wishes to get spoiled, and it makes his whole face go red. The curvy babe finds this amusing, so she lets out a slight giggle and asks if he would be up for such a thing. Isekai'd comments that a formerly married woman's nature is very comforting, and due to this, he is inclined to say that he will surely be back for more. The next day, Isekai'd is set to sell out his potions once again, and due to Lestina's motivation, he had gotten fired up and made a whole bunch of potions in the night. The customers come rushing towards him as expected, and our hero has no complaints about that at all. It does not take long for him to sell out this time as well, and it includes a whole bunch of potions B and A. The only thing left for him now is to take some pre-orders, and then he wonders if the girl in the knight armor will show up again today. The moment he says this, she actually does appear, and this time, she has taken her helmet off. The girl has a stern look on her face as she mentions how Hawkeye keeps talking about Isekai'd's store. She asks for some potions, but Isekai'd tells her that he's sold out for the day. The night girl finds this amazing since it's not even noontime right now, so she decides to make an appointment for tomorrow. This is good news for Isekai'd, so he makes the appointment instantly. The next day, he thinks about how he had doubted whether the night girl was an actual girl, but now he has the confirmation he needs. She eventually shows up and says sorry for keeping him waiting, but Isekai'd does not have an issue with that. The night girl's name is revealed to be Rilia, and after some small talk, our hero declares her to be cute as well. Rilia's order turns out to be a big one, as she needs 20 potions of recovery, detoxification, and enhancement. Isekai'd hands them over to her, and she decides to have a taste instantly, much to his surprise. Rilia starts drinking the potion, but she does it in such a way that Isekai'd's intrusive thoughts kick in instantly. He tries his best to control himself, And then Rill thanks him for the great quality. Not only do the potions work fast, they also taste amazing. So Rilia is grateful to have gotten such a great deal from Isekai'd. He is just happy that another pretty girl is in his favor. But then Rilia says that she will drop by later if he will allow her. He clearly has no issues with this. And then we learn that Rilia isn't a rank adventurer. Even the girls admire her beauty. And our hero seems to have known about this since he spoke to other people about it. As expected, the men mainly spoke about it. But even Isekai'd would not mind that as Rilia is really famous. He does not know how a rank adventurers engage in shady acts. But he would definitely like to see how Rilia's face changes when her... Of course, Isekai'd has Listina, so he decides to stop thinking about Rilia, and then he heads off to the shady place for another lengthy session. However, he is shattered to learn that Listina has taken some time off from work. He asks the reception man if it's something serious, but he says that it's just a light fever, which is why Listina wanted to get some rest. That might be a bit reassuring for Isekai'd, but his mind was already set on doing it. And now his dream has been broken. The reception man tells Isekai'd that since Listina is on a break, he would like to offer another girl to him today. He pulls out a whole catalog of girls, and he insists on enjoying them as they have similar features to Listina. Isekai'd does not know what to do here, but the reception man insists on taking a new girl because he would like to show his gratitude to our hero. After all, he has given the business a lot of money ever since he first came here, literally and biologically. Isekai'd is not too sure of the women being shown to him. But then he sets his eyes on a certain babe named Mile Kania, whom we had seen right at the start in Isekai'd's heavenly future. The reception man proceeds to show off Kania and her assets to Isekai'd because he knows exactly what our hero likes. After he completes his sales pitch, the reception man says that Kania is available at this moment, so Isekai'd should definitely try her out. Our hero figures he might as well go ahead with her. So he books a session for 2 hours, and the reception man gets her ready as soon as possible. Later, as Isekai'd waits in the bedroom, he is greeted by Kania, who thanks him for choosing her today. She is quite cute and curvy as well, which means that Isekai'd will not miss Listina that much today. After running a quick scan, Isekai'd can see that Kania has big eyes and a weepy face. She also has a slightly thicker lip when compared to Listina, and her blonde hair really complements her blue eyes. The main thing though is her body, and it's exactly how Isekai'd likes it. He figures he is going to be just fine with the new girl, and she decides to help him get more comfortable. She proceeds to take a look, and just like Listina, Kania is also amazed to see the size of his trunk. Of course, this is due to Isekai'd's skill, but Kania has never seen anything like this her entire life. As part of her training, she decides to prepare herself the same way Listina does with the potion. But Isekai'd is not into any mechanical routine, so he tells Kania that he wants to unleash his inner animal the right way. There's no chance for her to say no to, so she goes ahead with Isekai'd's desires. What follows is yet another for our hero, but this time with a different girl. As a matter of fact, this is the first time released water, so she is amazed that she can experience such things. Of course, Isekai'd is glad to be the first to have given her such a sensation, and things have turned out well for the both of them. The thing now is that Kania is addicted to our hero, so she wants him to pick her the next time he comes over, and he says yes at first, but later on he wonders what to do. Isekai'd may have told Kania that he will choose her the next time he comes over, but he also has Listina. Our hero tries to compare both the curvy babes, and while he does admit that Listina is the best for him because of how much effort she put in, Isekai'd eventually admits that both of them are amazing. He does not want to let go of either girl, so he wonders if he can make it work with the both of them. The next day, it's time to sell some potions again, so Isekai'd prepares his stock with his storage skill. Once he is done with the storing, he sets out of his inn and greets the inn owner on his way out. Ikeda is sure he can make his way around this new world, and he thanks the goddess for blessing him with such useful skills. Now, since he is selling so many items, it is but obvious that he will end up having tons of customers as well. Due to this, Ikeda may start facing issues by getting cramped for room, so he needs to figure the right way to expand his business. He realizes that he can't stay at the same place for a long time, so he should rent a bigger place for himself. As he wonders what to do about his business, the flat cafe girl comes to serve him a yummy meal, and he instantly forgets everything else. Ikeda orders for some rice to go with his meat, and he comments on how he absolutely loves monster meat in this world. It is really tasty and spicy, especially if he has it with a particular hot sauce. The meat and gravy are amazing enough as it is, and the cups of rice are the best way to top it all off. As Ikeda eats his food, he overhears someone else talking about his own shady conquests. Since it has to do with cute and curvy girls, Ikeda wants to listen in on this, so he pays close attention. The man in question talks about how he finally got to do shady things with a beast girl, but when someone asks him how it felt, he says that it was not too good at all. Not only did he hate the smell, he also had an issue with the weird noises this beast girl was making because it sounded more like a roar. The man states that he did not care how good the beast girl may have looked, which was why he told her to stop in the middle of. Then, he resumes talking about his adventure in the dungeon, and Ikeda laments how such things can even happen in this world. Now, the flat girl comes to ask our hero if he would like anything else, and he asks her if she knows anything about the land of beast people. She reveals that the name of this country is Yangal, and it is 2 weeks away from this place by carriage. That is not exactly a short duration, so it demotivates Ikeda. But then the cafe girl says that it will be a lot quicker if he uses a dragon. Ikeda is surprised to see that you can rent out a dragon to take you to another place. But such rides do not come cheaply. As our hero steps out to walk on the road, he contemplates the carriage ride, but also says that 2 weeks is a very long time. However, he would still like to go to Yangal someday, and also check out other countries as well. After all, there will mostly be cute and curvy girls over there as well, and he only wants to have fun with all of them. Ikeda remembers the curvy guild girl with the. Now that he's done with work and had his dinner, Ikeda goes to the shady place once again and books a session with Kania. After a water release session, our hero thanks Kania for being the sweetest thing he has seen today. On the contrary, she thanks him as well for showing her a whole new world of pleasure. This is also because our hero is the only person who compliments her body, and then the two of them engage in many more shady. Ikeda promises to come back to Kania soon, and then he bids her farewell. He has not even prepared a single potion yet, so he needs to take the rest of the day off. But he also has to figure something about his house if he is to make moves in his work life. Now, he heads over to a realtor named Calver Real Estate, and he is greeted by a cute and curvy girl yet again. She asks what Ikeda is here for, and he says that he is looking for a house. The curvy babe wants more clarity on what our hero wants, so he explains that he would like a nice space where he can live, while also operating a store from the same place. He would like this house to be close to his usual spot and also at a reasonable price, so the girl starts her search. She provides him with an option, which is a 2-story building with the first floor being a nice space for a store. Ikeda likes the professional nature of the houses, but he notices that the rental rates are very different. It turns out that one of them is on the main street, while the other one is off it, which explains the price difference. The rental rates are either 1 large gold coin or 4 large gold coins, which translate to 10,000 and 40,000 yen. Of course, Ikeda is not going to spend his cash blindly, which is why he asks the realtor girl to show him the places. She has no issue with that at all and offers to take Ikeda on a house tour right now. Our hero is then taken to his prospective home and gets a proper tour of the place, along with a look and feel of the furniture. After a lot of thinking and consideration, Ikeda decides to go for the cheapest option. He knows this is not the best way to go about his business, but he has to look at his own budgets as well. After all, the realtor girl must be having a lot of clients, so his purchase won't make a big deal to her. After signing all the paperwork, our hero finally has a house all to himself. We can see that it's a pretty simple house that has only one bedroom, but it's good enough for Ikeda to do his business while also living in the same space. Now that he has shifted to his home, he unleashes all the furniture he had kept in his storage unit. There's a lot of furniture, and Ikeda realizes that he actually bought a lot of it before because he could store it all easily with his storage skill. However, now he will have to move all of it around, and it will be quite the task. He knows he has a huge workout on his hands, so he begins moving all the furniture around after drinking some potions. Ikeda makes sure to use potions for arm strength and stamina, after which he undertakes an arduous task. After a lot of effort and hard work, the house is finally set and Ikeda has managed to sort out his living situation. The inn owner congratulates our hero for finally owning his own store, and even he thanks her for all the support she has given him during his years in this world. Another thing that the inn owner points out is that Ikeda is looking rather big today, and it's all because of the potions he had taken. Our hero is massive and as big as a monster, so he feels a bit embarrassed by it. All this work and effort has made him tired, so he decides to release his tension by visiting the shady place. The reception man sees him and is surprised by our hero's muscular frame, but is still able to recognize Ikeda, probably due to the shady look on his face. Ikeda asks if Kaniya is available, to which the reception man says yes, but he also mentions that Lestina is back, so he asks our hero what he would like to do. This has presented him with a tricky situation, and he shrinks back to his original form due to his conflict. The reception man comments that our hero is troubled right now, as can be seen in the way he panics over his choice. Ikeda does not know whether he should go for Lestina or Kaniya, and the sheer thought of it all seems to be bothering him a lot. That's when the reception man decides to offer some support by stating he can actually go for both girls at the same time. This is a jackpot for Ikeda, so he instantly says yes to the offer, and he is reunited with Lestina and Kaniya. As expected, an extremely session follows. After a heavenly time together, Ikeda starts thinking about what to do about his store, but the girls notice that he is tired and has something on his mind already. He tells them that he is just thinking about some new things regarding his store, but this is news to the girls as they did not know he was expanding. The girls suggest hiring an employee as it might be too much work for him to handle alone, but our hero confesses that finding a good candidate will be really difficult. Now, Kaniya suggests hiring her to help with the store, and even though she is a bit nervous about it, this does not seem to be an issue for Ikeda. He wants to hear more about this suggestion, and then he listens to what the girls have to say. As Ikeda walks his way back home, he thinks back to the proposal the girls gave him. He can take both Lestina and Kaniya for just 2 gold coins, which is extremely cheap. On top of that, which is always a boon for him. Later, Ikeda goes to the guild girl Sheska and gets the sales permit for his house sorted out. He thanks her for everything, and even she congratulates him for opening his own store. With everything set in place and the costing figured out, Ikeda is confident that he can make things work. After all, if he can have both Kaniya and Lestina by his side, then he will have a lesser workload to deal with. In addition, he can do shady both the slave girls for as many times as he wishes, so it's a winning situation for him either way. With everything else out of the way, our hero decides to ask Sheska one more question, but it has nothing to do with the store. He wants to know more about the land of beast men, and the guild girl immediately identifies it as Yangal. Ikeda asks her if there are other countries like Yangal, so she asks him to give her a moment. The guild girl provides our hero with a world map, and we can see other countries which are known for all kinds of industries. Our hero learns that the country of Yangal is filled with all kinds of beast folk, and because of its closeness to the dungeon, there are a lot of adventurers coming from here as well. The other country of Ryson is the hometown of elves and dwarves, which means that the production of powerful weapons and magical tools is booming over there. Now, the country of Pyrocania is known as the land of the demons, but this place has been sealed off since the wars of the past, so there is not a lot of information about it. Astoria is more of a newer town, and the wine over there is supposed to be amazing. Isekai'd's own country of Bikinia has a textile industry, and the marine industry also does well since it is so close to the sea. After hearing all of this information, our hero's dreams grow bigger, and he wishes to become a huge name in this world. He decides that he will work very hard and will make a ton of money in order to make this dream a reality, and then he leaves the guild. Sheska wishes him all the best, but the only thing on Isekai'd's mind right now is to buy both Kania and Lestina as his slave girls and travel the world with them. Before he forgets, he asks Sheska how much it costs to ride a dragon, and she reveals that it's 10 gold coins, which is a ridiculous amount of money. Now, we move to the next day where Isekai'd is making even more money from his potions. He takes his jackpot cash and thanks none other than Hawkeye, who has made it back from the dungeon. The adventurer tells our hero that it would normally have taken him a month to get back, but due to the super potions, he only needed a week. Isekai'd takes this chance to tell Hawkeye that he has opened a new store, so he says that he will start visiting it from now on. Since he has made his last sale today, Isekai'd decides it's time to say goodbye to his temporary store. He's going to miss it for sure, and he remembers how he had first come to this world through the goddess. He would have never imagined that he would make this much money from selling potions, but things have been good for him. He has saved up so much money that he can last his entire lifetime along with Kania and Lestina with this much. Now, it's time to claim his slave girls, so he goes to get them from the shady place. They have been waiting for him, and Isekai'd makes the payment to the reception man, who was actually the manager this whole time. He becomes very emotional because he has known both Kania and Lestina for a long time. It's almost as if a father is giving away his daughters to another man for marriage, but at a cost. Either way, the manager and the slave girls hug each other one last time before bidding farewell for good. Even Isekai'd is tearing up after seeing this, and then he takes off with his slave girls. The manager reminds him to keep visiting, even if the girls are not here anymore, and he promises to do so. Lestina and Kania can't believe that Isekai'd decided to take the both of them in, but he says that he wanted to all the time, so it was a wise decision to make a final payment. With that, the slave girls promise to play as much as they can, and they will not do anything less than their best. This truly is a dream come true for our hero, but will he add even more women to his slave harem? Also, will the dormant demons from Pyrocania come back to life?
Now that our hero has slave girls at his beck and call, he rejoices over the fact that he can engage whenever he wants. The first thing on the agenda is to go shopping, and the girls don't seem to have a problem with it. Isekai'd then takes Lestina and Konia to a clothes shop, and the girls dress into outfits that would awaken any man's intrusive thoughts. They ask for his permission to wear these clothes, but only a fool would say no to such spicy outfits. Isekai'd can't believe that he is now going to spend the rest of his life with these two babes, and then he tells them to pack the clothes they've chosen. However, Lestina and Konia both want to check out some more outfits, and there's no way their master is going to deny his slave girls. Now that all the shopping is done, our hero takes his girls back home and then he gets into bed. It doesn't take long for both Lestina and Konia to show up in their new outfits, and this awakens the inner beast within Isekai'd. He takes this chance to pounce on his slave girls, and he doesn't hold back one bit. The feeling is mutual as Lestina and Konya both tell him that they want him to make them feel pretty again. It does not take a lot of guessing for anyone to realize that the acts that happened after this were indeed too shady. Now, we move to the next day where we see both Lestina and Konya helping out their master with the potion store. They make use of their new outfits and follow all of Isekai'd's orders, whether it's about refilling potions or clearing shelves. The crowd goes crazy thanks to these new babes at the store, and they continue to buy potions without any hesitation. Isekai'd does not have a problem with this because it only means that he's going to make a lot of money. After all the purchases of the day, both Lestina and Konya drop to the floor because they too are overwhelmed by the massive demand they saw today. They look at their master and comment on how successful he is. However, he tells them it's no big deal and then gets them up on their feet. The triple couple takes a break by having a quick refresher, and then they breathe a sigh of relief. Lestina and Konya can't believe how amazing our hero's potions are. And on top of that, Isekai'd is able to create them quite easily as well. Their master decides to show off by instantly making yet another potion in front of them, and the slave girls applaud him for his skills. They wonder if this is how you make a potion, but Isekai'd tells them that there are different methods depending on the person. This actually makes him realize that he has a pretty cool trick up his sleeve. However, he has to make sure that it does not get found out by any bad guys. Now, the slave girls ask their master if he can really make any kind of potion, and this leads him to say he believes so. The girls are glad to hear this, and then they ask him to make a potion for them as well. Isekai'd wants to know what kind of potion they want, and learns that the slave girls want a potion which will make them slimmer. By slimmer, it can be assumed that they want their soft, but this would be a nightmare come true for Isekai'd. He immediately says no, but this confuses the girls as the common fantasy is to have slender girls in this world. Lestina and Konya are a bit disappointed, but Isekai'd tells them that this is for their own good. He then states that he finds his slave girls attractive just the way they are. He does not want them to change and encourages them to embrace their bodies. His words are so intense that the hearts of these girls melt instantly. The both of them hug him tightly and say how much they love him. But of course, our hero did not give this speech for the sake of body positivity. The fact of the matter is that he likes thick girls and he cannot lie. Even other brothers can't deny it, and when he sinks into the soft Lestina and Konya, the smile on his face says it all. His heavenly experience goes up a notch now, as both girls say that since he loves their bodies so much, they will serve him now. Once again, it can be safely assumed that a whole series of lewd acts this scene. Life goes on like this for a while, as Isekai'd continues to make a lot of money while his slave girls help him with the store as well as the house. Isekai'd can't stop smiling as he has finally reached the pinnacle of his life. Thanks to both the girls, he can now focus on increasing his potion production and sales without having to worry about expenses and maintenance. Now, Konya serves him some tea and Isekai'd says that he wishes he could live like this forever. Having said that, there is one thing he wishes to do, and he asks Konya if she can run the store in his absence. She says yes immediately, but also asks if he is planning to go somewhere else. Isekai'd says yes and admits that he has recently been thinking about a country known as the Land of the Beasts. It's the same place he had heard of before, and now that he has the money, he wants to explore the area. The slave girls agree to take care of things while he's gone, and then our hero embarks on a dragon flight. He takes a look outside the window and comments on how Virginia is already so close in just a little time. The dragon pilot asks Isekai'd how he's liking the flight, and he only has good things to say. After all, this dragon flight will be completed in only 3 hours, whereas a horse carriage will take at least 2 weeks. Isekai'd says that he doesn't mind a horse, but dragons are the best and he has always wanted to ride a dragon. This is understandable as his own. Our hero continues to praise the view and the dragon, so the pilot thanks him for his kind words. It doesn't take long to reach the land of the beasts, and it clearly lives up to its name as can be seen by all the beast people living here. The name of this place is Yangal, and Isekai'd can't get over all the people he's seeing in front of him right now. He's getting excited simply by virtue of being here, but now that he's arrived, he will need to get his hands on a map. He asks a beast girl for help, so she redirects him to the right place, which is a cat building. We see a cat man welcoming Isekai'd to Yangal and tells him that he will need to get through some entry procedures before moving forward. Once he gets done with that, our hero is given a map and then he sets out on his journey. After a bit of looking around, it becomes evident that soft pillows are not popular in this country as well. In a way, it's good because Isekai'd will not have any competition for the girls he likes. As expected, Isekai'd lets his intrusive thoughts take over, and he heads towards a shady house. Now, he meets a beast man who welcomes him into his establishment, but he looks just like the owner of the previous shady house, so our hero is taken aback. Anyway, the beast man offers a list of girls that the shady house currently has, and then he asks Isekai'd to take his pick. Our hero is spoilt for choice once again, and now he also has to choose between cute girls who have bunny ears, dog ears, and cat ears as well. Soon enough, he comes across a cat girl named Iritelis, and her curvy body catches his eye immediately. The beast man confirms that Isekai'd wants Iri, and then he gets her ready for him right away. Our hero wants to know how much time he can have with the cat girl, and he is shocked to learn that he can do it with her all the way till the morning. This is not too different from how it was with Lestina and Konya, probably because of the amount of money he has offered. Now, Isekai'd is alone in the room with Iri, who acts formal with him at first. The cat girl is a bit nervous as she asks Isekai'd to allow her to treat him well, but he does not care about that much. What he does pay attention to is her pretty face, red hair, and tall body. He wants Iri to feel at ease with him, so he points out that she might have a problem with formal speech. Iri agrees to it, although she does look a bit worried. Isekai'd then tells her that she can proceed with her normal tone if that makes her feel better. This surprises Iri at first, but she is relieved to hear it and thanks Isekai'd for allowing her to be casual. She is not at all good with a formal tone, but this makes Isekai'd happy because he likes the way she sounds right now. The truth is that our hero enjoys women a lot more when they behave like themselves. Now that the introductions are done with, Iri wonders what a human is doing in a place like this, that too inside the land of the beasts. She asks him if he wants to test her courage, or if he is just a boy who likes to act thoughts. Isekai'd says that he doesn't just like to act on his he loves to do it. Iri laughs at this and says that she loves to do such things as well. This eases the pressure on Isekai'd, and then Isekai'd is not one to be dominated so easily, so he turns the tables on Iri and flips. He proceeds to let his lips do some work on the cat girl, but it surprises her a lot. She asks what just happened, so Isekai'd assumes that beast people don't do these kinds of things. It only motivates him to play around some more, try some heaven on earth. Times as she wants, and it doesn't take long for him to finish her off easily the first time. Next up is the main course, so Isekai'd brings. Iri can't believe what she's seeing because the thing she's ever come across. She is a bit scared to let such a But Isekai'd tells her it's fine as girls like Lestina and Konya have already become used to it. Isekai'd then comments that he has all the skills needed to make Iri feel amazing, and he's glad to see how she's turned from a bossy babe into an innocent maiden. What follows is a night full of first-time experiences. With the way things are going, Isekai'd might just end up bringing Iri back home with him. Lestina and Konya may be dreams come true for our hero Isekai'd, but adding an extra Iri on top definitely won't hurt any man of culture. The cat girl even drinks our hero's elephant water as if it's some sweet honey nectar. With a skill set like that, any man would be proud of Iri just like Isekai'd is. He even pats her on the head to show his appreciation, and it makes her happy. Now, Iri asks to be taught some more, and Isekai'd likes her submissive style, so he decides to get a pillow job done from her. What follows is round 2 of debauchery, which is way too detailed even to be shown in the manga panels. Either way, Isekai'd is pleasantly surprised to see how Iri has changed her personality after being given a few explosions here and there. Once the session is over, Isekai'd learns that Kiri is an adventurer as well, and she has been able to reach B rank despite her night job. This is amazing, but also proves that being an adventurer alone doesn't pay the bills. Iri says that she used to have more muscles and was also a foot taller before, but Isekai'd tells her that she is looking her best right now. It makes the cat girl blush, and then she talks about how she used to be very confident about her shady activities. Isekai'd doesn't understand what she means by this, so Iri explains that even when she was an adventurer, she used to be a slave girl. Even though she had massive pillows, she was still very popular as she could almost have been considered as a bank for elephant water. Isekai'd can't believe what he is hearing, so he asks Iri if she ever got sick of it. She says that was never the case as she loved acting on her intrusive thoughts all the time. However, at one point, shady activities started becoming more fun than the actual adventures themselves, so Iri figured that it would not make sense for her to continue in the adventure industry. After all, she could land up in trouble if she ended up prioritizing shoddiness over completing an adventure. This was the main reason why she became a night girl instead. It was all standard stuff for her until our hero came along into her life. He doesn't get what she means, so Iri explains how during her time here, she could not find a single man whose elephant could keep up with her kitty cat. Even B-rank adventurers would prove to be unsatisfactory. But then Isekai'd arrived and completely rocked her world. Iri thought she was going to take the lead here, but our hero completely turned out to be a dom and ended up treating her like a good girl. Iri then admits that she is now crazy about Isekai'd as nobody can beat his bedroom skills. Such a big compliment makes even our hero blush. But the cat girl says it's the truth. Nobody has been able to make her explode the way Isekai'd did just now, and it makes him feel even better about himself. Since he has been fed with so many compliments, Isekai'd decides to give Iri another treat, and the session continues further into debauchery. After everything is done, Isekai'd decides to leave, but Iri is glowing brighter than the night sky. She asks him to come back again as she'll be awaiting his arrival with eagerness. Her own manager is unsure as to whether this is a business trick or if she is actually falling in love with her latest client. Isekai'd is just glad to have gotten some top, and he bids farewell to his latest girl. After he gets out, our hero decides to refresh himself and remains thankful of the shady house for existing. He thinks about Iri again and tells us how great she is. After all, she has an amazing body, great curves, massive pillows, wide hips, and cat ears. Plus, she works out a lot, so her body is nice and tight. Iri almost has the big sister energy, but only if you're in Alabama. Isekai'd states that she is different from Lestina and Konya, but in a good way because having more and more of the same thing will eventually get boring. After some more consideration, our hero even says that he would like to marry Iri, which means that he has caught feelings quite quickly. He suddenly realizes that he has said this out loud, so he will need to be a bit more careful moving forward. Having said that, he knows that if Iri got with Lestina and Konya, then it would be an unlimited session of fun for him. Isekai'd already starts to have all kinds of intrusive thoughts, but they can't be helped when you are a man of culture. That's when Isekai'd also realizes that Lestina and Konya are both at the same store, and he has no idea how they will react once they see him with Iri. This could actually turn out to be a disaster because girls like to have their men to themselves, and bringing in Iri could cause friction amongst his slave girls. It's still a nice problem to have, but a problem nonetheless. Isekai'd would like to be an honest man, so goes back to the store and tells his girls that he would like to bring Iri into the house as well. Contrary to what he had feared, our hero is told by both Lestina and Konya that they will be looking forward to meeting Iri over here. Our hero is confused, so he pauses for a second, after which he asks if both his girls are fine with him bringing yet another harem girl into their lives. They say that if this is something their master has decided, then it should not be a problem for either of them. Isekai'd realizes that Lestina and Konya are completely submissive to him, but he figured they would have still been a bit upset overhearing about Iri. The girls say that they would normally get jealous overhearing something like this, but since it is to do with Isekai'd, then they suppose it will be all right. They also say that if Iri were to be here, then Isekai'd would end up giving his love to more of his harem girls. This may not make a lot of sense to modern dating, but to Isekai'd, it makes him so happy that he has tears in his eyes. He hugs both Lestina and Konya out of joy and says that he feels like giving them even more love after being told such a sweet thing. Of course, by love, he means shady activities, but he does throw in some nice gestures every now and then. He's brought home some souvenirs for the girls too, so it's not always about the shady holes and poles. After a night of extreme shoddiness, we move to the next day where Isekai'd takes Lestina and Konya to the town of Blazic. They are quite amazed to see how nice the place looks, and there's also the fact that they were able to reach in an instant. Lestina had come here before when she was a child, but it took over a day to make the trip. Since the girls have arrived by traveling on a dragon this time, they barely took a few minutes. Isekai'd feels proud that his slave girls are feeling so overwhelmed by what he has done, and he tells them that he had planned the trip out for this very purpose. He figured that the girls must have been feeling lonely by staying at the shop all this time, so going on a trip together was the best solution. Lestina and Konya are both happy to have been given such a gift, and then they can hear some pleasant sounds coming from all over the town. It so happens that Blazic is called the town of music, so this is what the trio will be hearing throughout their time here. The town also happens to be right in the middle of their festival season, so the vibes will be immaculate. Something seems to be happening up ahead, so the trio decides to check it out. There's a huge gathering up ahead, and after reaching the spot, the trio can see that there is a dance performance going on by some cute but flat-screen girls. Lestina and Konya are both amazed by this, but Isekai'd can't get over the fact that women can be this petite. Particularly, the dancing and the music are amazing, so it's a complete waste to be doing it with no pillows. It would have been a lot better to have Lestina or Konya do something like this, because their pillows would have definitely made the performance more worthwhile to look at. His energy is looking sus, so the girls ask him what's going on, but he can't really explain his intrusive thoughts, so he just brushes it off. Suddenly, Isekai'd hears a couple of men from behind talking about how pretty Lestina and Konya are. However, upon closer inspection, they notice that they have massive pillows, which is apparently a bad thing in this world. The logic will never make sense to comic guzzlers or any of its loyal men of culture, and this includes Isekai'd as well. He covers the ears of Lestina and Konya, but they tell him if he does this, then they will not be able to enjoy any of the music. Isekai'd does not mind having these beauties to himself, but he will never forgive the shameless men of this world for not appreciating God's finest work. Now, his eye catches a detail in one of the nearby stores, so he asks the girls if they can go shopping after the song and dance over here is done with. Naturally, they say yes to him, and our hero takes his girls to buy some exotic costumes. It doesn't take long for him to lose his mind once he sees both Lestina and Konya wearing the same clothes the dancers from before were wearing. They find these clothes to be a bit embarrassing because of how skimpy they are, but their master is already in paradise looking at one of the most beautiful sights a man can ever witness. His shady face comes to the fore as he tells the girls they look so good in this attire, but they say that they have just watched slim dancers in the same outfits, so it's not the same thing. After all, they don't have skinny bodies. But Isekai'd tells them that they are the best of the lot, and the dancers from before have nothing on them. After all, he thinks that Lestina and Konya are the most beautiful girls on the planet. These words are more than enough to make them blush, and Isekai'd can't control the beast within him anymore. He then tells the girls that he would like to try something, but not with those outfits on. As expected, another session of unspeakable acts follows after this. The next day, both Lestina and Konya wake up tired, and they apologize to Isekai'd for completely falling asleep. He says it's fine, but more importantly, he would like the girls to try a new potion he has been working on. He has made some improvements to what he already made before, and this time we can see that the color has changed. Lestina and Konya drink the potion and notice that the taste has also changed. They are amazed to sense that the new potion is so sweet and cold. And then Isekai'd explains that he has tried to make the potion look like a sports drink in order to make it more appealing to the masses. The girls don't care what it's called, but the drink in itself is amazing. So Isekai'd is glad he can finally add a new product to his store. It's time to go home and start mass production, so the trio gets onto the dragon and then begins the task at hand. The next day, the store opens up to customers with new products, and they are all amazed by the new sports drink. Not only does this taste better than the already great potions being sold before, but they also seem to revitalize everyone drinking them. Effectively, this is exactly what a sports drink should be doing, and it's working like a charm. As a result, Isekai'd has great demand again, and the customers don't mind buying as many of these sports drinks as they can. After a hectic session, Isekai'd and the girls lament that they have sold out everything today as well. The new product has worked like a charm, and Isekai'd knows that even if he increased the production of the sports drink, it would sell out each and every day. After gauging the demand today, Isekai'd has come to a clear decision and figures he should act fast. Lestina and Konya ask him if he's leaving now, to which he says yes, as he will now need an additional member for his squad. The sales today have been more than enough to prove that to him, so he hops on a dragon and heads towards his latest recruit. As expected, Isekai'd rushes to the shady house to get Iri onto his harem, but the manager tells him that she is currently with a customer right now, so he will have to wait. Isekai'd is a bit surprised to hear this, so he worries if Iri has found another man who can please her the way he did. Also, he seems to have heard the manager call Iri Lestina, which is a bit of a puzzle. At this very moment, another customer can be seen walking out of the place and he looks completely drained out. The manager comments that Iri has done it again, and then we see the customer complaining that the cat girl is quite dangerous. She was able to extract 4 shots in 15 minutes, which is probably S-tier shoddiness. The man states that he should not have tried to test his courage today, and this is what he gets for being so naive. Isekai'd asks the manager what's going on, to which he says that Iri has been doing things like this to many other customers as well. The cat girl shows up complaining that the youngsters of today have no guts at all. She finds everyone boring now, especially after Isekai'd, so she can only get with him from now on. Seeing her makes our hero overjoyed, so he calls out to Iri but also strangely calls her Lestina for some reason. The cat girl is delighted to see her lover boy back, so he holds him close as they head towards their room. The manager is shocked to see Iri be so subservient towards a customer, so he wonders who Isekai'd actually is. Now, the intrusive thoughts come out to play in a highly detailed and intense session. As expected, Neither Isekai'd nor Iri leave any stone unturned, and after all is done, the both of them decide to cuddle with each other. Isekai'd is glad he could do it with the cat girl once more, and so is Iri, but she is sad that these happy times are going to end once again. She really wishes that she could spend more time with her lover boy and be around him more often. This gives our hero his cue to ask Iri if she would really like to be with him all of the time. She says yes and would not mind it if it was Isekai'd at all. Our hero then asks her how she would feel if he took her into his own house. This shocks Iri for a second, but then her eyes light up and she says she would love to do it. She wags her tail quite aggressively, but then she becomes upset over something, so Isekai'd wants to know what the issue is. He asks her what the problem is, but she says that the price he will have to pay for her will be extremely expensive. Isekai'd wants to know how much it is, and she reveals it will be a red gold coin. Isekai'd says that a red gold coin would be the equivalent of 10 million yen back in Japan, so it is not at all cheap. But then again, it just goes to show how famous Iri is as a slave girl. He does not mind paying this price at all, and Iri becomes shocked upon hearing this. She says that it would not matter for her if Isekai'd was an adventurer, but a red gold coin is a lot of money for a regular guy. Our hero is surprised that Iri knows he's not an adventurer, but then he explains that he has a shop back in his town, and he makes good money, so he does not have to worry about the finances. It's not like the old days for him, and this makes Iri feel that her master will be just fine even after purchasing her. He then tells Iri that he would like her to come to his store, and she says she will follow him anywhere as long as it means they are together. This leads to yet another shady session, after which Isekai'd goes to the manager to make a purchase. The manager is not only shocked to see Isekai'd making such a big purchase, but also to see Iri being head over heels with him. He states the price as 1 red gold coin, to which our hero presents the cash immediately. The manager decides to go get the contract, and he tells Iri to get ready for her departure. She happily says yes to this, and kisses her master on the cheek, asking him to wait for her as she changes into a more proper dress. The manager is still in disbelief because this is supposed to be the same cat girl who has ravaged men like no other. He himself gets a bit too happy for the cat girl, and he tells Isekai'd that no other man has ever been able to make Iri behave this way. Isekai'd himself thinks that the manager is a lot more excited than he should be. But then again, he has just made 1 red gold coin, which is a lot of money. With all the formalities done and dusted, it's time to leave, so Iri thanks the manager for all that he's done. He says it was his pleasure all along, and he also wishes for the cat girl to be happy. She says she will definitely live a happy life with her new master, and then they leave the venue. As they walk through the woods, Iri says that she has not been free in a long time, and she wants to know what Isekai'd wishes to do next. He says that he would like to go to a clothing store first, and this gets Iri interested. Isekai'd asks her if all freed slaves dress the way she does, because even Listina and Koni had worn modest clothing at the time of their departure. Iri explains that this is like camouflage, as a professional in fine clothes is almost like a great deception, which brings in a lot of allure as well. This is why emancipated women always wear clothing like this. It makes sense to our hero, and then Iri says that if someone else wanted to dress her up, then she would attack him. However, since it's Isekai'd who's asking to dress her, then she does not have any problem with it. Our hero says that it only makes sense to dress a fine woman in fine clothes, which makes the cat girl blush. She is very agreeable to Isekai'd's ways, so they go to the clothing store for a nice fit. A crazy shopping session follows, where clothes and delicates are bought in abundance. Once all of this is completed, the two of them hop onto the dragon to fly back home. Iri is wearing a schoolgirl outfit, and she can't believe that she's riding on top of a dragon. These flights are expensive and fancy, so Isekai'd is glad his new slave girl is enjoying the journey. It won't take long to get back home in Virginia, But our hero can't take his eyes off Iritelis' new outfit. She can sense his intrusive thoughts coming to the fore, so she pounces on her master like an actual wild cat. Iritelis wants Isekai'd to view her body as much as he desires, and it can definitely be said that the feeling is mutual. Iritelis says that Isekai'd is really weird for liking such shady outfits, but he is also a great guy, so she totally adores him. Our hero is buried in her pillow heaven, so he is just happy to be thought of in such high regard. However, it's time to put the regards aside and awaken the beast within. So he smacks Iritelis' bottom and proceeds to engage in shady acts with her. She still can't believe how big his elephant is, but the real person traumatized from this is the man driving the dragon. What follows is this world's version of the Mile High Club. Soon enough, the new couple comes back home, and Isekai'd enters his home to greet Listina and Konya. They welcome him with huge smiles, but they notice that Iritelis is hiding behind him, probably out of shyness. The girls ask if there was any trouble on the way, but Isekai'd says it was as smooth as a ride could have been. They then inquire about the cat girl standing behind him, so he finally introduces Iritelis to his slave girls. Both Listina and Konya find her to be really cute, mostly because of her cat ears, and then Isekai'd asks them to get along with the newest member of the house. The girls are already friendly with Iritelis, and it looks like things will be just fine. The both of them make their acquaintance with Iritelis, and even she shakes off the nervousness to greet them properly. She is looking forward to join both Listina and Konya in serving their master Isekai'd. The initial meeting goes a lot better than our hero had expected, as the girls are very nice to each other, and Iritelis' ears definitely seem to have become a huge hit with them. Now, the girls turn their attention towards their master, who has a rather strange look on his face. They want to know what's the matter, but Isekai'd says that he simply cannot believe how he is the master of these three unbelievably gorgeous babes. Simply knowing that Listina, Konya, and Iritelis all belong to him is the best feeling any man of culture could have asked for. Hearing these words is more than enough to make the hearts of all three women melt, because it's not every day that they are called rare beauties. Our hero is obviously going to take advantage of the situation, so he asks his girls if they would like to hug him. They will obviously not say no to the man they love, so they embrace, and Isekai'd is on the highest peak of his Rizzed. Truly is an elite moment for him, but the girls are not going to stop at just that. The feeling is so soft and the smell is so good, which is more than enough for our hero, but then the intrusive thoughts start to take over. Before we even know it, the girls get busy in trying to bring out the famed elephant of their master, and he is not going to say no to such an offer. Isekai'd can't control his excitement as his elephant trunk is going in all directions now that there are so many hands playing with it. The plus point is that Listina, Konya, and Iritelis all know what they are doing, so their hands are not even colliding with each other, thus forming the perfect circle of thirst. It's not just good, it's crazy good, and it even emits a holy light of ethereal bliss. Isekai'd can't hold it in any longer, so he asks the girls to line up in front of him with their mouths open, as he has a gift for them. He goes on to spray tons of elephant water all over their faces, and they clearly seem to enjoy it. Our hero needs a moment to catch his breath, but he laments that he let out too much water, that it is overflowing now. It's too late to stop what has started, so all the three girls say that they want more of his elephant water. Only a fool would say no to this, which is why Isekai'd says it's time to go to the bedroom for a session that even men of culture would find extreme. Listina always feels good when it comes to her kitty cat, and she is the most experienced when it comes to Isekai'd's elephant. Konya's hips are to die for, as can be seen in how her master makes use of them too. Iritelis, as always, is at her limits when she goes wild with her master, so that comes as no surprise. A series of explosions follows, leading to the ultimate moment for any adolescent boy. Of course, this does not mean that the fun has to stop, as the girls ask for one more round, which our hero agrees to immediately. The babes even agree to perform service together with Isekai'd, which shows that teamwork is the real winner of this encounter. Isekai'd is glad that his slave girls have become such good friends in no time, but they are surprised to hear this from him. After all, the three of them love him unconditionally, so it's only natural for them to get along for the sake of their master. Now that everyone is on the same page, it's time to get to work and make some money. We can see Isekai'd already getting into her element as she prepares the store in her new outfit. She tells Isekai'd that they are about to run out of potions soon, so he acts on it. However, the visitors of the store are more surprised to see the famous cat lady over here. Since she has built quite the reputation due to her shady skills, the customers recognize the cat lady instantly. Kiri was known to be working as a night lady in Yangal before this, but now that she is with Isekai'd, this starts all kinds of discussions, such as one person saying he had requested for Isekai'd before, and she ended up taking 5 shots out of him within 15 minutes, which is shocking by any stretch of imagination. As a matter of fact, he thought he was going to lose his life at that point, although that wouldn't have been a bad way to go out. Anyway, the demand is high as usual, and our hero does his best to keep up with it, along with his girls. The customers are still not able to believe that someone like Isekai'd has been able to get a girl like Isekai'd under him, but then again, he is an amazing guy, so it should not be completely unbelievable. Before you know it, the shop gets sold out today as well, leaving our hero and his slave girls totally exhausted. He tells everyone they have done a good job today, so Lestina decides to brew some tea for refreshment. Isekai'd is keen on that because she finds Lestina's tea to be quite yummy. The team is still in shock over how much stock they have sold till now, and they all heap praises upon Isekai'd for making such amazing potions. However, Isekai'd says that her blood begins to boil every time she sees adventurers coming in. This is because it reminds her of the good old days when even she would do the same thing. Isekai'd takes note of this and asks her if she would like to go back to being an adventurer. Isekai'd says that is not the case because she is extremely happy with the life she has now. Being with Isekai'd, Lestina, and Konya is pretty amazing, and Isekai'd would not want to miss out on the chance to bump uglies with Isekai'd at any point of time. This will not be possible if he becomes an adventurer. Lestina and Konya agree with her, but then Isekai'd says that he is a bit curious about adventurers himself. They do look cool to him, so Isekai'd says that she would not mind becoming an adventurer again if her master were to do it as well. Lestina and Konya are relieved to hear about Isekai'd joining their master, and they wish him all the best for his new life as an adventurer. Of course, our hero says he can't do such a thing because he will need all his girls with him at all times. They say that he should not worry about them at all, but he says that he will feel lonely if he is not with Lestina and Konya, thus making them blush. He goes on to bury himself inside their pillows and says that he won't be able to survive for long if he can't act out his intrusive thoughts with them regularly. Isekai'd also decides to join in on the fun, and as has been the scene so far in this story, such affection leads to another intense session with the girls. Everyone is asleep except for our hero, who definitely looks like he's been engaging a bit too much with his girls. Once again, he wonders about what it would be like to become an adventurer because he's totally interested in it. He quickly recants his statement as he had already told the girls he would not do it. He then tries to reason with himself because it would not matter even if Isekai'd were to be around him. When it comes to actual fighting, there is no denying the fact that Isekai'd is as weak as they come. All the scary and painful stuff is definitely not for him, but then Isekai'd wakes up and says that it will be all right. Isekai'd is shocked because it looks like the cat girl was able to read his mind, but then she says that she could hear it because he was saying it out loud. Our hero regrets not being able to keep his thoughts to himself, but then Isekai'd tells him that he has his potions to help him out on this journey. Our hero realizes that he can use these potions to increase his endurance and make the whole thing viable for him. Even so, he does not want to leave Lestina and Konya alone, but even they wake up and say that he should live his life as he pleases. After all, they will be happy if their master is happy, which once again makes Isekai'd very emotional. Lestina and Konya tell Iri to keep their master safe, and she says that she will put her life on the line to make it happen. Isekai'd can't believe that he has gotten such amazing women to fall in love with him, but it's about time he actually started acting like a hero in this story. So he suits up for his adventurer life. Our hero remembers the last time he tried to buff himself up, but that was a bit too overboard for his liking. Right now, he's perfectly fine, so he's ready to take on the world. Iri also shows up asking if he is ready, to which he replies positively. Nothing is going to stop him from becoming an adventurer now. Iri asks where they shall be heading to first, so Isekai'd says it has to be the Adventurers Guild. After all, he won't be able to do anything if he is not registered in the first place. That makes sense, and even Iri would like to assemble weapons for this new journey, so the both of them are set. The cat girl asks her master what kind of weapon would suit him best, but even he does not have the answer to that. Meanwhile, a woman looks on from a distance and has a suspicious look on her face, meaning she is going to play a role later on. Our hero goes to the Adventurer Guild and gets himself registered, after which he is given an ID card. However, his rank has to start low, which means he is currently only on level G. It's good enough to be a top G in this world, so Isekai'd is glad to finally become an adventurer. The reception girl at the guild seems to recognize him as the owner of the potion shop, and so do some other adventurers who ask if he would like their help. These are regular folks, so Isekai'd thinks he should take their assistance, but then Iri steps in and says they don't need any additional hands as long as she is there. Isekai'd figures that's true since she used to be a B-rank adventurer girl. With that, our hero leaves the scene but still thanks the adventurers for their offer. The regulars still can't believe how Isekai'd was able to land a B-rank adventurer like Iri, but they figure it would be best to keep the volume low to avoid the potion boy hearing them. Now, our hero and his cat girl visit a weapons shop where they are free to browse whatever they want to their heart's content. The shop owner says he has crossbows for them and even a magic bullet gun for long-range attacks. Isekai'd's eyes light up at whatever he sees, and then we notice another weapons seller talking about armor made of wind lizard scales and skin. Since it's enchanted with wind magic, the armor is very light and will also increase the speed of the person wearing it. Next up are horned ice boots enchanted with water magic. These tools will keep Isekai'd's legs from getting tired, which is all he wants to know, as his eyes light up yet again. However, everything seems to be very expensive, so Iri asks her master what they should do now. Money is clearly not an issue for our hero, as he simply says he finds some of the weapons amazing and cool. As a matter of fact, he's even seen some of them in a game before, which means he's definitely going to splurge. It doesn't even matter if the shop owner is the quiet type or chatty type, because as long as Isekai'd has seen these weapons in role-playing games before, he can finally get a taste of true adventure. With that, he makes some purchases which in turn make the shop owner even happier. Iri can sense that her master is really enjoying himself here, as she has not seen him this excited apart from their shady sessions. As they continue on their journey, Isekai'd tells Iri that he was able to buy a lot of good things thanks to her. He is glad to have her by his side, and then he suggests getting a shield as well. However, the cat girl says it won't be necessary because Isekai'd can focus on his long-range attacks while she will handle close-range combat. Our hero agrees to this, but wonders if it is okay to let Iri do the dangerous bit. She holds his arm out of love and says that she will never let anybody even lay a finger on him. Also, she says that if they would ever get stuck in a dungeon, then she will use her tongue twister 9000 on him whenever he wants. That's a great offer, but even Isekai'd knows that he won't be satisfied with just one session. Now, he asks the cat girl if she needs to buy any weapons for herself. She says that won't be necessary because she already has them from before. As a matter of fact, She can't wait to show her master how good she is with her weapons. Our hero is glad to hear this, and he is also eager to see how Iri would look while fighting. After all, he has always chosen a female character while playing his games, so he is familiar with the general vibe. A lot of excitement awaits him, especially if the female character ends up in a tough spot. They are made to look very alluring, but this is real life, so he should maybe focus a bit harder on surviving. Intrusive thoughts continue to fill up his mind, so Iri has to ask him again and again what his next plan of action is going to be. She suggests going home for now, but Isekai'd really wants to see his cat girl in a tight spot. The couple decides to return to Lestina and Konya at the end of it, but the slave girls are surprised to see them back so soon. They thought that their master was going out on an adventure, but he explains that prepping up his armor will take a lot more time than he had anticipated, so he figured it would be better to come back home for now. Konya immediately sits on the chair out of relief, so Isekai'd asks her what's going on. She says that she had thought Isekai'd got himself injured badly, which was why he returned. Our hero apologizes to his girls for making them worry so much about him, and then Lestina decides to make some tea for everyone. Both the girls are very emotional right now, so Iri teases her master saying that Lestina and Konya sure love him a lot. Of course, she does too, but Isekai'd can only accept this love nervously for now. Suddenly, someone knocks on the door and enters the house, which makes Isekai'd alert. It's the same girl we had seen earlier, and Isekai'd also recognizes her as he had dealt with her before. Lestina and Konya also show up to tend to her, and Iri seems to recognize her as an A-rank adventurer. Isekai'd tells the woman that they are closed for today, but she says that she is here for a completely different reason. This causes Lestina and Konya to worry for a bit, and even Iri gets ready for some combat, but our hero calmly asks her why she is here. The woman acts a bit nervous at first, and then she asks if it would be possible for her to join his party. This is a bit too surprising for everyone in the room, because for an A-rank adventurer to join a G-rank potion boy is quite rare and unheard of. Isekai'd wants to know why this woman has chosen him, and she explains that there is a limit to adventuring as a solo person. She was able to reach the 36th level of Bokinia, which is a shocking achievement, judging from Iri's reaction. Lestina asks the cat girl if this is an impressive feat, and she explains that it would take a party of at least 4 A-rank adventurers to reach that level, but this woman has done it on her own. Isekai'd is even more suspicious now, because if this woman is at such a high level, then it does not make any sense at all for her to side with him. She should be looking for better candidates, but she says that it has to be Isekai'd for her. If he does not choose to be with her, then she will have no other choice but to do what she is about to do. The woman takes off her chest plate, which alerts everyone in the room. Iri gets ready to strike, and she guards Isekai'd, although he is still intrigued by this woman. That's when she reveals that she has the largest pillows ever seen by mankind. Our hero is stunned into silence, while Lestina and the other girls can't even believe that this woman's pillows are much larger than their own. Isekai'd asks the woman once again if her main reason for joining him is because of her massive pillows, to which she says yes. It turns out that she had to keep her body hidden from others, which sort of pushed her to become a solo adventurer. The girls ask her if it is okay to share such a thing with them, but she says it's only fair to be transparent when she is asking for such a big favor, pun intended. Basically, she has come to learn that as long as it is Isekai'd and his harem, then they will be fine seeing her body like this. Our hero's eyes light up because he is the type to love these assets. Normally, comic guzzlers would find such pillows massive, but they are still much better than flat screens. Then again, everyone is entitled to their own preferences, and in this case, Isekai'd is definitely getting a taste of his in an insane proportion. This leads Lestina, Konya, and Iri to talk about how their master is indeed crazy for massive pillows. He always finds himself sucking them, even when he is sleeping, which might be a bit too much information, but is fine because the viewers of this channel have seen much more. Isekai'd is a bit embarrassed, so it leads to funny scene, but more importantly, the woman is glad that nobody is judging her for her massive pillows. She then bows down to Isekai'd and begs him to let her join his team. Dungeon crawling has been a dream of hers since she was a child, so she would dearly love to be a part of our hero's squad. Our hero has to take a look at his girls first because he has to consider their feelings as well. Lastina says that it won't be a problem at all. Konya says that if everyone is going to be together, then she is fine with it too, and Iri says that if Isekai'd is good with it, then so is she. Everyone's approval has been granted, so with that, Isekai'd allows the massive pillow woman to join him. She is overjoyed by this, and says she is now in our hero's debt. But Isekai'd has to tell her the truth about his life as the master of curvy babes. He explains that he equally loves Lastina, Konya, and Iri as his own family, which is a statement that makes all of them blush. Their relationship also extends to shady activities because that is just the kind of person our hero is. Keeping that in mind, he asks the woman if she would still like to join his squad. On the contrary, she is amazed that she will be loved as a woman if she becomes a part of Isekai'd's harem. He says yes, which seems like a bonus to her on top of being allowed to join his party. All her life, this woman has been despised for her body, so nobody has really given her the love she deserves. If Isekai'd is willing to love this body of hers, then she will be the happiest she has ever been in her life. She then requests Isekai'd to please treat her like he would treat his other girls, which he is obviously not going to say no to. Before we forget, this woman's name is Relia, and she is welcomed with a warm hug. With that, Isekai'd has gotten yet another curvy babe to join his harem, and at this point, forget about the others. It should have been me. Now, we learn that Relia is 18 years old, which is great because she is safe from Drake. However, she has been an adventurer since she was only 14 years old, which explains how she was able to become so strong. Relia is now getting tended to by the other girls, and she asks if it is okay for her to go out in her current state to Isekai'd. They tell her that their master is definitely going to love what he sees, and then we see our hero sitting in his bed, eagerly awaiting his first time with Relia. He is fidgeting a lot, as would be the case with any man of culture, and then he opens his eyes to appreciate the snack that has been brought to him. He can't believe what he is seeing as Relia is in bandages but barely so. She is nervous, of course, but Isekai'd celebrates as if he is a kid who has just been given his favorite candy. Relia is shy because she has never done this kind of thing before, but that is all she needs to say to make our hero even more riled up. After all, even though he loves the other three girls, he was not their first, so this will be a completely different experience. As a matter of fact, Lastina, Konya, and Iri are all jealous because they wish they had their first time with Isekai'd as well. Before sending her ahead, Lastina tells Relia that she has nothing to be scared about, as Isekai'd will take good care of her. Not only will he make her feel amazing, the other girls will also be there to guide her if necessary. Relia can't believe that she is being treated so nicely by everyone and being called beautiful too. It's almost pitiful for her to feel so scared. But now it's time for our hero to unleash the beast within. Once again, like an excited child, he wonders how he should go ahead with proceedings, and then tells the girls to get Relia into position. They do just that, and this allows all the bandages to come off, thus showcasing a figure sculpted by the thirst gods. Naturally, Relia is a bit embarrassed by the whole thing. Luckily for her, the other girls say that she should take a look of Isekai'd, as his elephant trunk is growing bigger after seeing Relia like this. The shoddiness on his face can't be wiped off, but it is definitely true that his elephant trunk has come out to play. Of course, Relia is a bit concerned because it's a rather long elephant trunk that is to enter her kitty cat, but our hero reassures her that he will take great care not to make her feel any pain. He has a skill that will make the whole thing pain-free, so it calms Relia a bit. He also tells her that if she is scared, then she can close her eyes, and then the session begins. The Lip Twister 2000 comes out, and it makes Relia feel a very different kind of feeling. She is struggling because her heart is beating really fast, and she is also getting a fluffy sort of experience. It's almost as if Isekai'd is making her zones melt away, and it is making Relia go weak. It feels way too good for her to resist, so she gives in to her new master. Our hero lets out the beast within, and he totally consumes Relia in the best way possible. It's so good that she passes out from all the explosions, and only wakes up after getting enough rest. She is welcomed by Iri and Konya, who are there with her, but she does not understand what has happened. Konya tells her that it's fine to pass out after such a thrilling experience, and Iri says that she actually passed out even faster than Relia. Her experience as an A-rank adventurer allowed her to go longer without fainting, which is a good thing. Relia is glad for the support, but she wants to know where Isekai'd is as of now. The girls tell her that he is currently with Lestina because it's going to take a lot more than one woman to tie him down. Iri gets excited because it looks like a lot of fun to her, and Relia gets an idea of what cohabitation really looks like. Iri tells her that she also seemed as if she was having tons of fun with her new master, which cannot be denied. The cat girl is just eager to get her own fill after this. But Relia is amazed by the expressions that Lestina is making. She was also making the same faces, which means that she too was happy with what was being done to her. Iri says that she also feels very happy when she is embraced by Isekai'd, and she is actually trembling while awaiting her turn. Konya also says that she too gets excited simply by waiting and anticipating for her turn. Relia is touched to see everyone's unwavering love towards Isekai'd, and of course, our hero has the same feelings for his harem girls as well. Relia is looking forward to this new relationship, and eventually asks if she can go for one additional round. The girls say yes and instead encourage her to get loved along with them. After what can only be described as a quadruple heaven experience, we move on to the next morning where everyone gets ready for the day. Isekai'd can't find Relia anywhere, so he asks the girls where she's gone off to. They say that Relia left early in the morning so that she could check out of the inn she was staying at. That's a good thing for Isekai'd because he will be staying with 4 absolute beauties from now on. At this very moment, Relia comes back, which is opportune timing for our hero as he was just talking about her. What really surprises him, though, is the outfit she is wearing, which is a lot more revealing than what she was carrying earlier. Relia has come with some bread, which she says she bought for everyone here as it looked too tasty to resist. The girls take the bread, but everyone has one thing on their mind, which is Relia's new appearance. She says that she borrowed the outfit from Lestina, who is close to her in terms of pillow size. Relia worries that she does not look good in this new dress, but she is told that is not the case. It really suits her, but Isekai'd wants to know what has brought about this change in dressing preference. After all, she would just roam around in a robe before, and even her aura has changed now that she is not covering her body any longer. Relia says that it is okay for her to be this way now, and it's all because of her new master. Before, she would always have an inferiority complex because of her pillows and her curvy body. However, because our hero was able to love these things about her in so much detail the previous night, he has given her the courage to accept her body the way it is. Relia says that as long as she is with Isekai'd, then she does not care what the other folks have to say about her. This is truly inspirational stuff, and every man of culture should be like Isekai'd moving forward. Our hero's face lights up after learning how his shoddiness has led him to become a positive role model. Relia requests him to keep loving her as he loves his other girls from now on, and he tells her he definitely will, so she better be prepared for it. At this point, Iri comes in between them and tells Relia not to hog their master all to herself, so she apologizes for acting in haste. It was not her intention to be this way, but then Iri reveals that she was just teasing her. Relia is then told to stop chatting so much, otherwise her food will get cold. She thanks everyone for the meal and then digs in. As the harem dines with their master, they discuss how nobody can really monopolize Isekai'd, especially with his massive elephant trunk. His love is to be shared equally amongst all of them, but Lestina says that even if all 4 bodies are combined together, it would still not be enough to totally please Isekai'd. The girls then tell Relia that she does not have experience, so she needs to be careful that Isekai'd does not push her beyond her limit. They continue to talk about their master's insane skills, but he does not know if they are praising him or cursing him. Hearing all this about being broken makes Relia have all kinds of intrusive thoughts wherein our hero is doing unspeakable things to her. However, this sounds like a good thing to her, so she is looking forward to it. The other girls are pleased to see this side of her, and all of them declare her to be worthy of their master, although he himself does not know what that is supposed to mean. Anyway, he is just happy that Relia has learned to love her body, and she will now be called Riri moving forward. How is Isekai'd's life as an adventurer going to turn out? And how many more girls is he going to conquer along the way? Isekai'd takes a look at his massive pillow babes and asks if they are ready to embark on this new journey with him. They seem to be itching to go and even ask how far the dungeon is from here. It appears to be 20 minutes by foot, but all of a sudden, our hero hears someone saying something rather suspicious. He says that he can get the team to their destination in just 5 minutes if they ride on his cock, which is the bird, not the other thing. We can see that the man has a giant cock and charges 3 silver coins for 3 people to ride it. Isekai'd can't believe what he is seeing, and the girls state that 3 silver coins is a bit too expensive for a giant bird. Of course, our hero loves trying new things, even though we did not expect him to love cocks so much. The team now gets on their cocks and sets off on their journey. It's not an easy ride for Isekai'd, which should also make him realize how hard it must be for his curvy babes as well when it comes to his own bird. Isekai'd is told to lean his body a bit forward to stabilize the cock, and Riri goes a step further by showing him how to do it, although her methods may be seen as a bit too alluring. Iri adds to the intrusive thoughts by lifting her bottom and showing her master how he can position himself once his cock has settled down. As expected, Isekai'd's energy is through the roof now, and he wishes to enjoy this scene for hours on end rather than just 5 minutes. Of course, he tells the girls that he would like to ride his cock for an hour, which makes them wonder if he is okay in the head. Now that the cock riding is done, we shift our attention to the fruit of power. Eating this fruit is said to increase your strength stats, and it seems to be a drop item from the adventures. Both Riri and Iri can't believe that they have come across such a rare item, but Isekai'd is unfazed. He starts to wonder what can be done with such an item, but the girls are still in amazement over how a mere slime could drop such a rare gift. Since they are so amazed by it, Isekai'd decides to hand over the drop item to the both of them, which comes as a surprise. They are both hesitant to accept such a gift and tell their master to eat the fruit instead. However, Isekai'd does not need some fruit to increase his stats, as he has already maxed them out thanks to his potions. He instead tells the girls that if they eat the fruit, then their stats will increase and he will become very happy for them. On that note, Riri and Iri both cut the fruit and have a bite each. Suddenly, Iri starts to feel something take over her body and begins to act as if she is in heat. It has become so excessive that even her kitty starts to growl as if she is looking for prey. Riri is no exception, as she begins to pant rapidly while stating something seems to be filling up her body. She even opens her mouth and presents her tongue to show how shady she has become. After this session, both the massive pillow girls take a breather to settle themselves. Iri did not think that a simple fruit would be so effective, but it is also her first time trying such an item. Riri says the same thing and thanks her master for allowing her to have it. Of course, they are not paying attention to the fact that Isekai'd has been enjoying this view for a while and cannot control his shady intentions any longer. He is not going to hold back, So he unleashes the beast within and grabs Iri by her hand. He proceeds to give her a little smooch while Riri blushes in the background. She wants some of the action as well, so Isekai'd gives it to her since he is a man of equality. This goes on for a while, so the girls ask our hero if he is alright, but he simply says that he wanted to know what the fruit tasted like. Of course, he hides the fact that his intrusive thoughts had taken over, but the girls both say that they were taken aback and expecting something more. Anyway, now that they are both worked up, it's time to continue with their journey into the dungeon. The group wishes to aim for the goblin boss, but the girls are both a bit surprised because all they're doing is standing behind their master and eating fruits. Isekai'd has managed to get himself a gun with his skills, so he decides to show the monsters the American way of negotiations. The girls comment that it makes no difference whether it is a slime, a goblin, or a kobold because our hero's magic gun is more than enough to get the job done. Isekai'd is clearly having a lot of fun, but what Riri and Iri can't understand is that all the drop items are super rare. There are things such as the Fruit of Power, the Kobold Fangs, and Steel Swords. At this point, they don't even know what is to be considered rare anymore. Our hero turns back and checks on his slave girls, but asks them why they are looking so flustered. The expression on their master's face makes the girls realize that he is really having a lot of fun over here, so they decide to let him carry on with his shenanigans. Now, Isekai'd can see a wider place, so he enters it with Riri and Iri. It doesn't take long for the group to realize that they have now entered the dungeon boss's arena. There is some rumbling that can be heard, but it's not Eren Yeager, so it's nothing to be alarmed of. Having said that, Iri and Riri both become a bit alert by what is happening, and it catches Isekai'd's attention. He asks the girls what's up, but then we realize that the rumbling sound actually came from the dungeon boss getting defeated by our hero in just one blow. The massive pillow girls can't believe their eyes because Isekai'd has just taken down a massive hobgoblin without even breaking a sweat. Not just that, there were a few lowly goblins as well which he brushed aside as if they were nothing. They state that the magic gun may be amazing, but it's actually Isekai'd's mana that's making it such a deadly weapon. At this rate, he can easily become the one-shot man of his world, but not when it comes to the bedroom. Now, our hero notices a treasure box which has been dropped by the dungeon boss, so he decides to open it right away to see what's inside. He wonders what could be in here after all the rare items he has already gained, and then he notices that it is a magic stone. It's Isekai'd's first time seeing such a stone, but Iri and Riri from behind panic, as if he has just unlocked the secrets of life. They reveal this is not a magic stone, but a magic crystal. It is one of the rarest items in this world, which is formed by compressing and crystallizing a vast amount of magical power. The girls are unable to believe that such a rare item is found in a beginner's dungeon, and they tell their master that if he sells this crystal to the guild, then he will rank up by several levels. However, he activates Chad mode and says that if this item is so valuable, then he might as well keep it as a souvenir. The girls ask him if he's sure about this, to which he states that he does not really care a lot about ranking up. Now that they have defeated the boss of the dungeon, Isekai'd suggests going home now, but Iri and Riri are left wondering why they have even come here in the first place. They have just been spectators this whole time, but they figure they can head back via a magic circle. Isekai'd is fascinated by the magic circle, and his eyes light up when it activates. The team now heads back to the Cockman, but the cocks seem to have become restless, which is why they abruptly drop the riders on the ground once they see their master. The Cockman realizes that his cocks are hungry, although not for kitties. He will give them some food, but then he notices the awkward position that Isekai'd and his girls have gotten into. He can only laugh at how they have come back in such a dramatic fashion, and then we move to see both Iri and Riri in a rather delicate position next to their master's elephant. They apologize and promise to get off right this moment, but our hero has no complaints at all. As a matter of fact, He would prefer it if they stayed like this for a while longer as he is enjoying the view. Later, the team goes back to the guild where the reception girl is told about how Isekai'd has cleared the goblin dungeon. She decides to promote him to rank F for his efforts, and his card color changes to orange. The girls congratulate him, and our hero admits that even though he had earlier mentioned he wasn't interested in rankings, he is a bit happy now that he has leveled up. Iri and Riri then tell him that they don't think he has the strength of an F-rank adventurer. They actually believe he is a lot more powerful than what he lets on. They even point out that they didn't do a single thing but still became stronger due to the fruit that Isekai'd gave them. Iri and Riri both feel guilty for being useless, but Isekai'd asks them why they are speaking this way. He was able to move forward because of all the training he had done with them, which does not relate to the bedroom. He is glad his pillow girls were there with him because it was very reassuring. This makes them happy, and then our hero suggests heading back because Lestina and Konya must also be waiting for them. Before he can move ahead though, Iri and Riri give him kisses on his cheeks to show their affection and appreciation. Their pillows bounce off each other in this process, and then they congratulate their master on clearing his first ever dungeon. He blushes and says thanks, which once again makes all the viewers of Comic Guzzlers lament that it should have been them, not him. Isekai'd had fun, so he wants to go adventuring another day, to which both Iri and Riri say yes. Our hero comes back home to welcome Lestina and Konya, and he is pleasantly surprised to see them in their bunny costumes. It's rather alluring to say the least, but the girls believe this is the best way to welcome their master after clearing the dungeon. They ask Isekai'd if he has any injuries, but he says he does not even have a single scratch on his body. His main focus of attention right now is on their curvy bodies, which are looking a lot more appealing thanks to their costumes. Lestina and Konya say that they wanted to cheer up their master once he returned, so they thought that wearing lewd outfits like this would definitely do the job. They ask if they were wrong to do this, but the look on Isekai'd's face says that they have done the best possible thing they could. He hugs his curvy babes and tells them they made the right choice. He clearly seems to love their outfits and says that it's great to be back at home. Riri and Iri both comment on how Lestina and Konya are getting so much attention now, but then they get thanked as well for taking care of Isekai'd. They reply that they didn't have to do anything at all, since their master is very strong all by himself. Honestly, it felt as if they were just there for the commentary, but something is better than nothing. Lestina says that it could have been because of their presence that Isekai'd was able to act so calmly. Our hero agrees with this theory, and then Iri and Riri get praised once again for doing a good job. This puts a smile on their faces, and not the kind that Heath Ledger likes to draw. Lestina and Konya tell their master that they will prepare food for him right away, so he should rest for now. Later, we see everyone enjoying a nice, filling meal while also chatting with each other. The seemingly innocent chatter goes on for a while, but when the moon takes over, the shady beasts come out to play. Lestina, Konya, Iri, and Riri present themselves to their master, who calls out to them like a little boy getting to play with his toys. Lestina and Konya go first because it's been a while since our hero has experienced their versions of the hawk to a tongue twister. Next up is Riri with pillows as big as mountains. Even Iri gets in with her plump, juicy lips. After a lot of warming up, it's time for the elephant to enter the kitty cats. So the slave girls line up for their master to unleash the Serpent of Doom. What follows is an endless night of shady activities that could easily fill up multiple hard drives with content. After all the fun is done, Isekai'd decides to drink his potion because he has just unleashed the beast on 4 curvy babes. This was an amazing experience, and home really is amazing for him, even though the dungeon was fun too. Speaking of which, Isekai'd realizes that he will need to organize all his things, such as clothes, potions, and weaponry. He takes a look at his magic gun, but is saddened to notice that it has been damaged quite a bit. Iri shows up from behind to reveal that she's still awake, and explains that this is because Isekai'd's mana is way too high for a normal gun. She's actually surprised that the gun even lasted for as long as it did, so she asks her master what he plans to do next. He says he can just get it repaired at the dungeon, but if he does that, then the same thing will just happen again. There is no point in wasting so much time, which means he should rather get the gun reinforced. Iri says that the perfect place to get this job done would be the land of Ryson. This is the land of dwarves, who are known for their craft skills, so our hero should definitely get his fix over there. The next day, Isekai'd takes a dragon ride with all 4 of his harem girls and brings them to the town of Ryson. They are amazed at what they see, and the girls still can't believe that they have been brought to another kingdom so casually. Isekai'd figured that if he was going to get his gun fixed anyway, then he might as well take his babes on a short vacation too. As expected, this lands him a lot of brownie points with girls who are already going to do whatever he asks of them. The ambience of this town is a lot different when compared to Bokinia, and the girls talk about how everything in this town has been crafted to perfection. Of course, this is not what Isekai'd is focusing on now, as he notices a pretty elf girl passing by him. He then notices a dwarf and gets excited about being in a fantasy land with such creatures in it. The girls ask him where he would like to go first, so he says it would be better to get a room at an inn, after which he will need to go to the guild. Over there, he can ask for a shop which would be able to fix his magic gun. The girls agree, and then Isekai'd says that the place he wants to visit is a shady one. Iri manages to predict exactly what her master was about to say because she knows him and his shoddiness all too well. Our hero asks his girls if it is okay for him to go, but it is not like they are going to have any issues with it, so they wish him the best. It really is intriguing that even after having 4 absolute babes with him, he would still want to pay for someone else. However, men of culture will understand that elf girls are worth everything. Isekai'd celebrates the fact that he will get to be with a pretty elf girl, which is the main dream of every otaku boy out there, or so he thinks. The slave girls tell their master that even though they won't stop him from visiting the shady place, they do have a word of advice for him. It is to do with the fact there are not a lot of elf girls in this world who have big pillows. What follows is an awkward silence of a few seconds, so the girls ask their master if he is okay. It does not take long for Isekai'd to fall to the ground out of shock because this is his one main weakness. The girls try to explain to him that not having big pillows is not the same as having no pillows at all. Our hero wakes up for a bit, hoping that he may still find an elf girl with massive pillows, to which the girls say that some elves do exist with these assets. However, they don't know if such elf girls can be found over here, which makes Isekai'd faint once again. You could almost say that flat-screen girls are like kryptonite to him. After a bit of a dramatic scene, Isekai'd wakes up and decides to be on his way, hoping for the best. We learn that elf girls with massive pillows are not really treated well in this country, which is a sin and a half in itself. Since elf girls are obsessed with this world's very wrong definition of beauty, the ones with big pillows end up leaving the country. Isekai'd confirms this as he is not able to find many women with big pillows over here, especially when compared to Bokinia and Yangal. Of course, Isekai'd is a fighter, and he is not going to give up until he has completed his mission to find a curvy elf girl with massive pillows. He is certain that he will find at least one elf girl to his liking, and then he enters the shady place with grit and determination. Obviously, Isekai'd knows that even if he fails here, he still has 4 gorgeous babes to service him back at the inn. Now, our hero enters the shady place, which is known by the name of Mirage. The elf manager greets Isekai'd and he realizes that she is actually a female but with a mustache. It's a bit embarrassing for our hero because he is used to dealing with male managers, but it doesn't hurt to try something new. The elf manager senses the nervousness, so she asks Isekai'd if this is his first time here. He says yes and directly asks if Mirage has an elf girl with big pillows. This is a bit surprising to the elf manager, but she does state that they have one such person. Hearing this is more than enough for Isekai'd to celebrate as if he has just found the cure to cancer, and then the manager shows him a picture. The curvy elf girl's name is Serti, who is close to 400 years old. The manager wants to know if Serti is to Isekai'd's liking, and he instantly declares that she is indeed the one for him. The elf manager is pleased to see our hero's enthusiasm, and he himself is glad to have found an elf girl with big pillows. The elf manager gives him the keys to Serti's room, but is surprised to see tears in his eyes. She asks if he is okay, and he says yes, as if he has finally achieved the true meaning of life. Our hero waits patiently inside the room and says that he hasn't felt this way in a very long time. He is just glad that the shady business is so good, and then he hears knocking on the door. It slowly opens to reveal Serti entering the room, and she formally introduces her curvy body to him. The elf girl states that she could not believe a man still exists who would want her, so she is ready to serve him to the best of her abilities. Serti's assets are exactly what Isekai'd had hoped for, and he can't believe what he is seeing. Now, we are told that elves are a race with overwhelming magical and intellectual abilities. They also happen to have a lifespan several times longer than humans. They are characterized by long, pointy ears, but most importantly, they are a race which consists of youthful and extremely beautiful people. Serti has snow-white skin, long eyelashes, and emerald-colored eyes, along with a pair of massive pillows. Basically, she is like a peerless beauty who is straight out of a fairy tale. Seeing Serti makes Isekai'd feel a certain kind of way, and he begins to shiver out of excitement. He does not waste any time and tells Serti that he loves and wants her. As a matter of fact, he wants to buy and take her in for himself, which is peak simping behavior. Serti is a bit confused upon hearing this, but the sparkle in Isekai'd's eyes is more than enough to convince us that he has fallen into the rabbit hole of elf girl pillows. Serti tells Isekai'd that it has only been 1 minute since they have met, so to say he loves her is a bit much. However, the heart wants what the heart wants, so he maintains that he wishes to buy her for himself. Serti realizes our hero's intentions, so she says that she will do as he says, but on one condition. Isekai'd asks what the condition is, and she explains how she will become his woman if he is able to satisfy her in the bedroom. This should be a piece of cake for Isekai'd, but Serti tells him that in her hundreds of years of existence, she has never been able to explode even once with a man. She feels it's nearly impossible for him to get the job done, as she can only explode if she plays with herself. In her mind, Serti thinks that no man would want a body as ugly as hers in the first place, because the men of this world have no taste. She personally believes that Isekai'd is just curious and will probably leave soon. However, our hero happily accepts the challenge and hugs her out of joy. He then goes on to play with her giant pillows and comments on how soft and smooth they are. Serti can't believe that anyone would play with her pillows in such a way, and then Isekai'd says that her pointers are quite fair and elastic as well. The sensation becomes a bit too much for her, especially with Isekai'd using the demo version of his tongue twister 3000. He proceeds to eat out her kitty, and it causes her to explode within seconds. Serti lies in her bed completely drained and relieved as she has managed to explode with a man for the first time in nearly 400 years of existence. The elf girl comments that our hero has totally surprised her with his tactics, and she did not know she could explode so easily to the point of passing out. Isekai'd says sorry because he may have gone overboard, but there is no reason for him to feel that way as he has given her the ultimate gift. Now, Serti tells him to not refer to her by her full name, which is something she only lets those close to her do. After another session, Serti says that she has never felt better in her whole life, and the mana which our hero secreted had a lot of magical power. She has not felt this kind of power in a very long time, but Isekai'd is surprised to learn that his elephant water has mana in it. Serti explains that elephant water has the power to carry life, which is where the magical power resides. It also explains how the magical powers of parents are passed on to their children. Our hero feels it could also be because of the power boost he received from his potion, and then he tells Serti that she is very knowledgeable. The elf girl then says that she may be a professional night woman, but she used to be a great sage at one point. This is naturally a bit surprising for our hero to digest, so Serti says that it was a long time ago. Isekai'd still wants to know how Serti went from being a sage to this, so she explains that she is cursed. It's a rather shocking revelation as she states how 300 years ago, during the elf battles against the demons, a lot had happened which she can't explain. Ever since the events of this battle, even if Serti can sense magic, she is unable to use it. This rendered her useless to her party, so she retired. It was because of this that she decided to become a lady of the night. Of course, this does not sound like a happy story to Isekai'd, because it's too much of a career shift. Serti was a great sage and could have used her skills in other fields such as teaching or research. However, the elf girl states that she is free in Mirage, which is why she has no complaints. Isekai'd does not know what to say to this, so she tells him how her massive pillows have led to her not getting selected a lot. In a way, it's nice for her to get tons of free food without doing anything. Serti clearly seems to be at ease, but the same can't be said about Isekai'd, who is looking at her with concern. He then brings out one of his potions and asks Serti to drink it, as he has an idea. She is happy to try it because her throat has been getting tired from all the gluck-cluck she's been doing to Isekai'd's elephant. She sips it down immediately, but then feels a sudden surge of power flowing right through her. She does not know what this feeling is, so she takes a look at her hands and seems to be able to summon some powers. She instantly unleashes a fire attack that unfortunately strikes Isekai'd and burns his hair. Serti then finally realizes that she can finally use magic again, and our hero is glad that his potion was able to do the trick. This makes Serti wonder what the potion was, and Isekai'd reveals it's an S-rank curse potion which can remove any curse from any person. Serti is familiar with this potion, but she can't believe her lover boy would do such a nice thing for her already. He apologizes if he meddled with her situation without asking, but she thanks him for all he's done already. After he gets dressed, Isekai'd goes to the elf manager and asks her if he can buy Serti Bell. This comes as a bit of a surprise to her, but she decides to get the paperwork done immediately. She seems to be shaking as well, which confuses our hero, but then he realizes why. The contract to purchase Serti is a whopping 15 red gold coins, which translates to roughly 150 million yen. This is mainly because Serti was a former great sage, but it does not matter to Isekai'd as he is super rich in this world. He gets the contract signed in an instant, after which the elf manager bows down to Isekai'd and asks him to take good care of Serti, as she is very much respected by the elves. Isekai'd says he will definitely keep his elf slave happy, which makes the manager also happy. Now, Serti shows up and thanks her master for waiting. She is wearing the dress she used to have when she was a great sage, and she asks her lover boy what he thinks about it. He says that it makes him want to violate her again, which makes her also blush. As she leaves with Isekai'd, Serti turns around and thanks the elf manager for taking care of her for so long. It makes her emotional as well, and she bids Serti farewell. Later, our hero brings Serti to his other harem girls and tells them that she will be their newest housemate. Serti introduces herself properly, but we can see both Iri and Riri panicking as they recognize her to be the great sage Serti Bell. The elf slave girl is surprised to see there are people who know about her past life, but the girls say it is obvious because Serti used to be an S-rank adventurer, putting her miles above even Riri. The elf girl blushes and says that this was from a long time ago, but even so, the girls want to know more about her story. Serti says that they can sit down and discuss things, which makes Iri and Riri quite happy. Isekai'd has no interest in this, so he takes Lestina and Konya away to probably do some shady activities. However, He is stopped by the other 3 girls who also want to be involved in this epic session. Our hero is surprised because these 3 were supposed to sit down and discuss Serti's story, but when it comes to getting their freak on, it easily takes priority over anything else. The girls comment that their master is in for an absolute treat here, but some would say he has earned it because he's worth it. Now, all 5 harem girls get together in shady attire in order to service their lover boy. Such a legendary session cannot even be drawn by the manga artist, so it is all left to our imagination. One thing is for sure though, which is that the thousands of people who are watching this video now have a new hope which has nothing to do with Star Wars. The next day, Isekai'd manages to go to the guild to ask about the craftsman, but he is told that he will have to wait for several months in order to meet him. The guild girl states that the craftsman in question is the greatest one from this town, and his name is Gary Barrow, who happens to be really famous. It makes sense to ask help from the best man in town, but unfortunately he is not available at the moment. Isekai'd wonders what he should do now, and that very moment, someone calls out to him. It's an old dwarf man who says that he can fix our hero's weapon. Although he also looks like a drunkard, Isekai'd is obviously fascinated to see a dwarf, but the reception girl refers to him as Garindo. She tells him not to drink alcohol inside the guild, like she has several other times, but Garindo says not to make a fuss about it. Even though he is a drunkard, he can still work, so Isekai'd wants to know more. The guild girl states that even though Garindo looks like this now, he used to be the best craftsman in the country, let alone this town. This story is more than enough to get our hero's attention, so he asks Garindo to go ahead and fix his gun, which he happily agrees to do. The old drunk dwarf tells Isekai'd that he will take around 5 days to fix the gun, which is fine for Isekai'd. Serti wanted to go to the nearby dungeon to test out her magic along with Iri and Riri, both of whom wanted to see her in action. Isekai'd allowed them to go for that, so 5 days is the right amount of time for him. During this period, he decides to get some stuff for Lestina and Konya, which includes a lot of jewelry. They comment on how each and every string is pretty and amazing while also looking super cute. Isekai'd can see they like these items, so he asks if they would like to buy them. The slave girls don't know if they should, but Isekai'd insists on them putting this jewelry on to look even better. After this, he also decides to go on a date with them to enjoy their company. He then asks the girls to choose some jewelry for the others as well, since he is not too good at this. Lestina and Konya believe that it does not matter what he chooses because the girls will still be happy about the gifts. Having said that, they go ahead and pick some gifts for the adventurer babes as well. The shopping is followed by a nice meal, and then we see Isekai'd chilling in his tub. Our hero likes relaxing this way because even though he has his potions to help him recover, there is nothing that soothes the mind like a nice bath. It was a good idea for him to choose a hotel with a connected bath, because it has made life here a lot simpler. Of course, there is another benefit to bubble baths, which we find out once Lestina and Konya enter the bathroom. They have come to wash their master's back, which is every man's fantasy for sure. As he enjoys this treatment, Serti, Iri, and Riri return from the dungeon and are jealous to see Lestina and Konya hogging their master. This prompts them to join in on the fun as well, which means Isekai'd is now in a heaven that even angels would be jealous of. As expected, the shoddiness continues into a night of extreme action, and then we move to the next day, which is presumably the same deadline for our hero's magic gun to get fixed. Isekai'd steps out of the hotel with his babes and reveals to them how he gave his magic gun to Garindo due to the people of the guild vouching for his skills. Serti is a bit worried that Garindo may say he failed to get the job done due to being too drunk, which is actually a real possibility. Isekai'd wants to be positive about the whole thing, so he enters the shop to ask Garindo about his gun. In a surprising twist, we see Garindo sleeping, which confuses everyone in Isekai'd's gang. Luckily, our hero does notice that his gun has not only been fixed, but is also looking a lot cooler now. The girls put Gar-Indo in his bed while Isekai'd comments on how amazing dwarves are as craftsmen. After some time, Gar-Indo does wake up, and he sees our hero Isekai'd in front of him. He is glad to see that the old bugger is finally up and awake, and even Gar-Indo reveals that it's been a while since he's worked on such a big project. He then takes a look at the magic gun and says that there's a lot of mana coming from it. Gar-Indo then turns his attention to Serti, whom he recognizes as the Great Sage. She confirms his suspicions, and then the old bugger asks Isekai'd how he was able to score such a babe. That's the same question us men of culture from comic guzzlers have also been asking. But Isekai'd only flexes his riz by saying he had to do all kinds of things to gain Serti's favor. Now, Lestina and Konya tell her that she truly is amazing because all eyes were on her even outside. This is no surprise due to her status and legend. Plus, she has finally shown herself in public after hundreds of years. So it's a big deal, especially when people realize that she has fallen for a mere human. Gar-Indo hears a bit too much about our hero's shady skills, so he chooses to keep quiet about it now. Isekai'd checks out the gun and notices that there is a bar on it now. Gar-Indo explains that this is more of a regulator, which will help him to control his mana output. This is great because the gun is already resistant to excess amounts of mana. He is grateful to Gar-Indo for his efforts and asks how much needs to be paid. The old bugger only charges 1 red gold coin, but this is way too cheap for our hero. However, Gar-Indo reveals that the actual cost of the repair should be around 30 red gold coins, which is a bit too much for anyone, let alone Isekai'd. The old bugger says that he'll only charge him 1 red gold coin as a token of his appreciation. Isekai'd does not follow, so Gar-Indo reveals that he was given a lot of material to work with, especially items such as orichalcum and adamantite. Usually, craftsmen never get to work with even one variant of such materials, but Gar-Indo was able to enjoy working on both items, so he is a very happy old man. As a matter of fact, the fire in his heart is burning brighter than ever, just like the Minecraft movie's box office collections. Gar-Indo thanks Isekai'd for giving him the best project of his life, and our hero is glad to settle things at 1 red gold coin. Gar-Indo tells Isekai'd that he can come to him anytime he needs help with something, and even the potion boy gives the old bugger a bottle as a gesture of goodwill. Now that these matters are out of the way, everyone heads back, but Riri chooses to stay back with Gar-Indo because she wishes to spend some more time with him regarding weapons research. Then, Isekai'd gets a nice little show and decides to hop into a pool of pillows. After tons of shady actions, Isekai'd says he wants to go to a newly built dungeon. It's said that heroes can gain great power if they conquer dungeons, so Isekai'd wants to do it as well with the company of his babes. They also want to do shady things in the dungeon, and Serti says she'll put up a smoke barrier to make sure nobody else can see what they're doing. Such is the skill of the Great Sage. The next day, Isekai'd steps out for his dungeon adventure, leaving Lestina and Konya behind to look after the house. Serti is able to make a dungeon appear out of nowhere, and then Isekai'd enters with her as well as Iri. It's a bit strange once they're inside because they can see there's some kind of sky over here. The first monster shows up, and to everyone's surprise, it's a high orc first up. This could mean that they are in a high-rank dungeon, but not that it should matter. Iri says to leave it to her because she looks at normal orcs and high orcs as the same. She charges at the monster and takes it down instantly, which impresses our hero. He praises her for her skills, but she says that this is all because of her master. He doesn't get it, but Iri reveals that he had given her the fruit of power, which has now made her even stronger than a high orc. There are more monsters on their way, so Serti decides to put on a show this time. Isekai'd says that Serti has crazy magic skills, and even Iri wants to see it for herself. The sage girl says that she may not need to chant the spell, but she will do it right now so that her master can understand her process. First up, she unleashes the iron barrette, which is essentially an army of weapons being launched at the enemy. Both Isekai'd and Isekai'd are in awe of what is happening. After all, this is advanced level magic. Our hero says this is indeed the woman he fell in love with, along with all the other women he loves too. He showers praises upon Serti, and this makes her blush with happiness. Isekai'd gets jealous, so she asks Isekai'd to praise her as well. He says that she has massive pillows and is quite strong, so she is a good girl. This makes her even more excited and motivated than she was before. There's a lot of scope in this dungeon, so the Beast Girl and the Sage Girl continue with their domination over here. They go through all kinds of monsters and beasts, including the likes of orc generals, queen bees, emperor serpents, and giant golems. The floors they're on get over pretty quickly, and we find out that there is a total of 5 floors in this dungeon. However, even as they keep descending, the sky remains visible. The monsters they encounter usually show up on the 30th or the 40th floors, but this case is different. Anyway, it looks like there's only one major boss left to fight in this dungeon. Serti is ready to finish things off today, but the final boss isn't what anyone would have imagined. Serti starts shivering when she sees the beast, and laments that she got too carried away by how easy it was to take down the other monsters. The final bosses happen to be 3 dragons, that 2S rank versions. Even Isekai'd is super scared because these beasts are no laughing matter. Neither Isekai'd nor Serti want to lose their lives here, especially after having found a place where they are so happy, and Isekai'd can sense the fear emanating from them. So he decides to get rid of these dragons by himself. The girls can't believe what their master is saying, but he does not want his babes to be scared. Our hero sets the power level to strong and prepares to launch his shot at the dragons, even though Isekai'd and Serti both tell him to not be reckless. Regardless, our hero shoots his shot and not to hit on a girl. Lestina can sense something, as she tells Konya that she could see Isekai'd's face in front of her. The girls talk about how they can't stop thinking about their lover boy, and they decide to bake cookies for him. Suddenly, Isekai'd finds himself inside some kind of white space, which he does not recognize. Suddenly, a stat bar appears and tells him congratulations. The stat bar tells him that the people who conquer this dungeon are given a new power, so he can select one from the options in front of him. He can choose from Hero, Beast Tamer, or Dragon King. Being a hero sounds like a lot of work, and Dragon King just sounds like a bro who doesn't have time for the ladies. So, the next best option is Beast Tamer, which is what Isekai'd chooses. Now, he realizes that he has cleared the dungeon and comes back to his senses. Both Serti and Isekai'd hug their master and thank him for taking out the dragons. There's no way the girls would have been able to beat the dragons, so they are thankful to Isekai'd for his overpowered skills. The girls start pampering our hero with kisses, and he enjoys the attention, but he asks them to stop. After all, if they continue, then he won't be able to control himself. After tons of shady activities, Isekai'd and the girls go to the guild to collect their rewards. The reception girl can't believe that someone was able to discover a dungeon and conquer it at the same time. Plus, the great Serti is with him, so it means Isekai'd is a man of merit. Till the main boss of the guild shows up, one of the staff members starts serving them tea as they all talk about their experiences conquering dungeons and going to the White Place. The chatting goes on for a while, and then the guild master finally decides to show his face. His name is Farenzo, and before he begins, he asks if he can shake hands with Serti because she is quite the famous sage. Now, it's time to talk business, and Farenzo decides to reward our hero for discovering the dungeon. He wants to offer Isekai'd 100 red gold coins, but this is a very low amount for Isekai'd. Farenzo agrees with him, but states that the rates have not been revised since a very long time, so he will revise the terms in the next meeting. Isekai'd is ready to wait till the revisions come, and then Farenzo states that he is going to make all of them level up as adventurers. We can see that Serti has been raised to S rank, Isekai'd becomes an S rank as well, But Isekai'd becomes a B rank because he started off as an F rank, which is even lower than Sung Jim Woo. Anyway, Isekai'd shows off his new rank to Listina and Konya, both of whom are impressed by his massive jump. After all, there are not many heroes who have been able to conquer a dungeon by themselves. The girls ask if this was not a dangerous dungeon, but Iri reveals that this was the first time she had been scared for her life in such a long time. Even Serti says that if her master had not come to the rescue, neither of the girls would have come home in one piece. Our hero sees his chance to act like a stud, so he says that he will never let any of his best girls ever be in danger. He loves them way too much for that, and this is enough for their hearts to melt. What follows is a ton of intrusive thoughts and actions. This becomes a bit too much for the girls to handle, so our hero asks if he should stop what he is doing. All of them say that he should not stop at all, so he carries on living the life that we should have got as true men of culture on Comic Guzzlers. The next day, our hero wakes up and realizes that things have gotten really messy, so he uses the cleanse spell. He then tells the girls to get ready because he wants to take them to a place today. The girls are excited to see where their master is going to take them, which turns out to be real estate shop. The sales girl is glad to see Isekai'd again, who tells her that he wishes to shift his place to somewhere bigger, with a bath in place. He would also like to expand his shop, so she gets to work. The girls ask if they are moving houses, and Isekai'd says it's a better idea because it was getting really cramped up over there. A bigger bathtub would also allow for some nice, shady activities. After some research, the sales girl seems to have found a really good property for our hero, and he is amazed to see how big it is. This new house is supposed to be 3 times as wide as his previous house, and is quite similar to the buildings of the elite towns. Isekai'd wonders if a dwarf has built this place, so he takes a look inside to see peak interiors. The sales girl adds that this was made by a dwarf couple, so the furniture is made to withstand shady activities. Everyone likes what they see, so Isekai'd tells the sales girl he would like to take it. The sales girl says that this place is not for rent or lease, but our hero doesn't care for that. He wants to buy the house straight up, which makes the slave girls even more excited. The price is 50 red gold coins, which is not a problem for Isekai'd at all. The girls still think that it's very expensive, but the place is really fancy, so the price tag should be justified. The customers need to be informed about this, so Isekai'd tells his babes they'll need to get to work. This is great stuff, and the girls are amazed by what all their master is doing for them. Now, everyone starts spreading the word about the potion store shifting, and the people make sure to pass it on. They sell out today as well, and with that, Isekai'd bids farewell to the home he was living in until now. He looks back on how he started selling potions on the road, and now has bought his own house. He also has some amazing memories of doing unspeakable things in this house, so he will never forget them. After shifting into the new house, our hero takes a day bath and talks about how refreshing it is for him. Now, his girls come to him with slime all over them and talk about doing shady things in the bath. No sane man will say no to this, so our hero participates in a Nuru session. It's a lot of fun for our hero, and his elephant trunk shoots out tons of water. The water is so yummy for the girls that they keep drinking it, but there isn't enough for everyone. Isekai'd can give out multiple shots, so he plans a crazy position to give out maximum results. Listina, Konya, Iri, and Serti are in for a maximum overdrive session as Isekai'd unleashes the beast within. Each of the girls wants her master to do the same things, and he says he will do it to all of them without fail. After all, a true man of culture never shies away from a challenge. The big bath and the big bed are amazing additions to our hero's home because he is much more comfortable now as we see him waking up the next morning. Now, it's time for the opening of his newer, bigger store, and things are the exact same as they were before. The number of customers lining up outside is bigger than ever, so everyone does their best to sell dozens and dozens of potions. We can see that Riri is back too, after her educational session with Gar-Indo, but since she has been missing the action for a while, she's a bit nervous. Isekai'd tells her not to worry and just observe the others for now, because it will take her some time to get used to the way things are now. She is also taken aback by how massive the house is, so she does need to let it all settle in. The others girls notice that Riri has become stronger ever since she spent all that time learning from the old bugger, but her reaction seems a bit off, which Isekai'd notices. Later, everyone sits down for a nice meal, and they comment on how great their sales were today. The girls have also learned how to cook food from Isekai'd, and the dishes are yummy as always. Riri is also told to eat as much as she wants, but she continues to seem uneasy, so our hero asks her if all is well. Of course, she doesn't have to tell everyone if she is not comfortable with it, but then she states that she's confused if she should go on adventures. This is a bit confusing to Isekai'd and the others, especially because Riri has always been an adventurer. She states that it had always been her dream to be an adventurer, but there's something holding her back. Ri gets it, as she asks Riri if she is scared. After all, they get to live such an amazing life, eating yummy food, doing shady things, and living a fancy life with all the money they're making. Isekai'd has been a darling to all his slave girls too, so maybe Riri does not want to lose this life. She agrees to what Iri is saying, and even Serti says it makes sense, considering she and Iri would not have survived their previous dungeon raid, had it not been for our hero. Isekai'd can understand what Riri is feeling, but he holds her hands and reassures her that he would never let her lose her life. Iri and Serti say that they too will protect Riri whenever they can, while Lestina and Konya say that even though they can't fight, they will cook tasty food for her. This makes Riri so happy that she begins to cry out of joy and gratitude. She thanks everyone for their words again, and says that she is feeling motivated now. Even Isekai'd is looking forward to going on adventures with Riri again, and then we shift to the nighttime. Riri is given a new outfit to try on, but she is not too sure about it. Isekai'd says that she could use a change of outfit for her adventures, and Lestina and Konya add that they picked out some dresses for her because she didn't really have any casual clothes. These dresses are mainly catering to our hero's shady desires, and Riri is able to appeal to his senses to the point where he dives right in. The shoddiness begins, but they're still at the store, so Isekai'd tells Serti to use teleportation magic to take them back home. After doing what every man is jealous of him for, Isekai'd decides to have a nice little meal with his babes. There's mayonnaise, mustard, and orc meat, all ripe for the taking. Isekai'd shows his girls how to make a sandwich with these ingredients, and they are tempted by how tasty it looks. There is usually the part where the man tells the women to go make him a sandwich, but Isekai'd is more of a logical adventurer. He figured that it would be best to make something which can be eaten with one hand, so that the other hand can be used for fighting in the dungeon. On top of that, Isekai'd also hands them some S-rank potions, which may be a bit too much of a cautionary move. The girls can't believe their master would go to such troubles because these potions are not to be messed with. They worry for their lover boy, but he says it's fine because he can make as many of them as he wants. If that is the case, then Serti can use her magic powers as much as she wants, without the fear of losing her strength. At this point, the girls wonder if Isekai'd is even a human. Now, Lestina and Konya ask if they can also come along with him for this dungeon because they want to see him in action. Our hero would love to do that, but he does not want to put their lives in danger. Serti says that will not be an issue now, because she has the means to perform barrier magic. This means she can protect Lestina and Konya while the others are fighting monsters in the dungeon. The problem is that it takes up too much mana, which was why she couldn't use it before. However, now that she has these S-rank potions, then it will be possible for her to keep Lestina and Konya safe while the others have a go at the dungeon. This is great news for them and Isekai'd, because now everyone can be a part of the dungeon raids. Now, Serti uses her teleportation magic to take everyone to the dungeon, which amazes Listina and Konya. It's their first time inside a dungeon, so Serti uses her barrier magic to keep them safe. They thank Serti for her efforts as she drinks a potion to regain her powers. Riri also adds some armor on the girls to ensure there is no chance of them getting hurt. Isekai'd is super excited to have all his babes together with him, but then the monsters start showing up. This one is called a Thunder Antilopia, which, as its name suggests, can use thunder powers. Serti tells everyone to be careful, but Riri slices through the monster with her sword in less than a second. One blow was all she needed to cut off the beast's antlers, so the others comment that she is a very good fighter. The group now continues on its way through the dungeon, and they encounter another monster. This one is called a blood fang boar, which Iri decides to tackle. The fang boar can use its whole body weight to charge at you, but since Iri has eaten the fruit of power, she is able to smash it away with ease. Isekai'd and Serti both comment on how strong the cat girl has become ever since turning into a Valkyrie. Now it's time to go down where the area boss is lurking. It is a hellhound, which means it will be a strong opponent to them. Listina and Konya are scared after hearing this, because the monsters till now were no joke either. Isekai'd can sense their fear, so he tells Iri and Riri to keep the girls safe while he goes and defeats the area boss. They are fine with this, and then we see our hero closing in on the hellhound. Our hero realizes that Listina and Konya did their best to not be burdens, but they are definitely not adventurers, so he should finish this off as quickly as he can. He gets his magic gun ready, but Listina and Konya are still a bit anxious. Iri tells them not to worry, as our hero fires his shot and takes down the hellhound with just one blow. The girls are in shock, but Iri knows that there is no limit to the magic gun's potential. After all, he was able to defeat the red dragons with one shot too, so this should not come as much of a surprise. There are all sorts of drops that have come with beating this beast, so Serti checks them out. She comes across a fire magic crystal, which is something Riri has not heard of before. Serti explains that there are only 7 magic crystals whose attributes have been discovered, that 2 over 6,000 years ago. That would make this crystal super rare. This is a cause for celebration, so Listina and Konya congratulate their master. Isekai'd is touched by what Listina and Konya tell him, so his python comes to life in no time. As Riri and Serti talk about using the new magic stone, Iri notices that our hero has already begun using his tongue twister with Listina and Konya. The beast girl awakens her own intrusive thoughts, because she wants to join in on the fun as well. However, Riri and Serti say that Listina and Konya deserve to have their lover boy to themselves. Now, we move to the next morning where Isekai'd wakes up to Listina and Konya making him breakfast. He asks them if they slept well, to which they say that they did indeed. After all, it was the first time our hero slept with all 5 of his babes without engaging in shady acts for the night. As a matter of fact, the girls are feeling so refreshed that it's almost as though their bodies are lighter. However, this is not because of their kitties sleeping peacefully, but rather because of their levels increasing. They did go to a dungeon as part of Isekai'd's party, so their levels would increase regardless of them doing nothing but watch. This will make things easier for the curvy babes, and they also celebrate the fact that they can do more housework now. Now, an old man shows up to the shop, so Isekai'd tends to him. He is not here for a potion, but actually to give a request to our hero. His name is Jotari, and he runs a clothing store in St. Mule. It takes around 2 days to get there by horse cart, and the place is known for its lavish textile business. It's actually a good thing that someone from such a place has come to Isekai'd directly rather than going to a guild. Iri tells Jotari that there are strong adventurers everywhere for him to ask, but the old man says that he does not want a pathetic fighter. He wants the thread of the queen spider, which alerts everyone. Riri says that the queen spider is a floor 30A rank monster. On top of that, the thread it spins is a super rare item. Iri then realizes that Jotari will indeed require someone very strong to get the job done. Of course, the girls are confident because they have Isekai'd on their side, who can do pretty much anything. Now, Jotari says that he has received a request from the king for the first time, so he wants to make sure that he does a good job. He knows that our hero has conquered a dungeon all by himself, so he is ready to pay whatever is needed. Of course, money is not an issue for Isekai'd, but Jotari did come all the way here for his help, so he should be nice about it. Now, Bro goes out of pocket by saying he does not need Jotari's money. Instead, he would like the old man to make him dresses based on his ideas. Jotari is fine with it, even if he is given a huge number of designs which works of Isekai'd, so he accepts the request. He will bring the thread to the old man's store the moment he gets it, and Jotari is very thankful to him for his service. After he leaves, Isekai'd reveals to us that he mainly wants these dresses made because he wants to enjoy some serious cosplay fantasies with his babes. He can have them playing a nurse, a bunny girl, a school uniform, gym shorts, and even swimwear. Bro has a very vivid imagination, because he also thinks about maid outfits which would make anyone jealous. Isekai'd is very happy about his shady plans, but his babes have no idea what he is planning. Anyway, it's time to get to work, so our hero sets foot into the dungeon to get the thread. Apparently, the Spider Queen monster was no match for him at all, because we don't even get to see battle panels between them. Our hero wins easy peasy lemon squeezy and gets a lot of drop items. They include the thread that Jotari wanted, and it does feel super silky. Isekai'd figures he should deliver the goods now, so he takes his babes with him to St. Mule via Dragonflight. Lastina and Konya are also amazed by how smooth and silky the thread is, so the king's family will definitely be pleased with what they get. The girls are so excited that they keep touching the thread as if it's their lover boy's elephant. Now, we learn that the group not only took the thread of the queen spider, but also the baby spider monsters, which is nothing to scoff at. All the girls now touch the thread, and they talk about how nice it would be to wear the clothes made from this material. Isekai'd says that he's glad they like it because he's going to have their clothes made from this very material. The girls are confused, because they have no idea what our hero has in mind for them. They want to know what kinds of dresses he has in mind, so he says he will make the kind that will make him lose all sense of control. Isekai'd may need to chill, but that won't happen because we now move to the girls showing the clothes they were wearing underneath their dresses. Shady acts follow, as they always do on Comic Guzzlers, and now it's time for some tongue twisters to also get unleashed. Riri and Konya start up the proceedings, and the session gets very loud. The dragon driver tries his best to be professional about it, so he ignores the noise on his way to St. Mule. After all, he does not care about shady acts as long as he gets paid for his services. After some time, Isekai'd and his babes reach St. Mule and go forward to deliver the goods. The group explores the place, and they can see why it's famous for its textiles, as there are fancy clothes and stuffed toys everywhere. Now, they see a whole bunch of people gathered to buy some merchandise from Astoria. From the looks of it, Astoria is super popular around here because of the reasonable prices. Having said that, this is also the same town that has demons in it. Either way, Isekai'd figures he should go to Elemental Cloud, but he also wants to buy some pens and paper. Now, the crew meets with Jotari, who seems to be concerned that Isekai'd has shown up only 2 days since the request. Of course, he does not know how much power our hero has, and learns that beating the Spider Queen was a short and sweet mission. He can't believe that he is indeed holding the premium silk he had asked for, because it normally takes 10 days to get such a job done. Anyway, it's time to keep his end of the bargain, so the old man promises to make the clothes that Isekai'd wants. Now, Isekai'd asks Lastina to bring the paper and pens they bought, and proceeds to draw the outfits he wants to have made. The drawings may not be the best, but Jotari does get a rough idea out of it. His eyes light up, and he is ready to make some super interesting cosplay. Isekai'd guides him through the whole process, telling him how he wants to have the skirts and the overall designs to look. Isekai'd likes that he is working with a professional now, and goes on to give him the baby spider silk for the clothes. Jotari is confident that he can make some great outfits with his silk, and Isekai'd is looking forward to it. Now, our hero gets a new outfit for himself, and he looks so good that his girls seem to like him even more now. Jotari is glad that his new collaborator likes the clothes, but then Isekai'd asks him if he has any items that would bring out his raging bull for his girls. One of Jotari's employees seems to have just the right thing for Isekai'd, and her name is revealed to be Aletta. She has a mind just like those of the veterans of comic guzzlers, so she decides to give the girls some spicy outfits. The first few options are pretty much as alluring as one would hope for, and Isekai'd likes all of them. The girls are amazed that their lover boy is liking everything that Aletta is showing him, and he ends up buying tons of stuff from her. Our hero walks out in his new outfit, and his girls have only praises to sing for him. He does feel a bit conscious, almost as if he's a bit shy, but he is happy to have the dress. He would have also wanted something like a hero armor, but then Iri asks him what he has planned next. He asks the girls if they would like to go to Astoria town, which makes them a bit conscious. Of course, this is the same place that has demons, so Isekai'd hopes that all his girls, including Serti, are fine with it. Serti is actually thankful to the demons, because if it had not been for their curse, then she would have never ended up meeting our hero. Isekai'd asks if his harem is cool with the idea now, and they all say yes, so it looks like they're going to Astoria town now. On the way there, the girls show off the new outfits that Isekai'd has bought for them, and all we can say is that it should have been us, not him. The babes present themselves in all forms that would make even a monk lose his sense of control, so a man of culture like Isekai'd has a field day with them. He is thankful to have bought the clothes, and even more thankful that his babes have put them on. There's going to be yet another bumpy dragon ride, but the pilot should be used to it by now. After a very shady session, the group enters the town of Astoria and can see that there are demons all over the place. These are large creatures which range from lizard men to cyclops to even minotaurs. Isekai'd is actually fascinated by all of these demons, but the girls tell him that they are being watched. The one most in focus is our hero because he became a demon tamer the other day. This means that the demons will have their eyes on Isekai'd the whole time, but this only makes him feel awkward. At least they're not being hostile, so the group moves forward to an interesting magic tools shop. They enter and are greeted by some Dracula-looking guy at the reception, after which they look around the shop. There are all kinds of magical tools here, and then they come across what seems to be a monster egg. Isekai'd wonders if people eat these eggs, but Serti says that it's a familiar's egg. The Dracula bro says that it's called the Egg of Hope, which means that it's super rare and only appears randomly. If Isekai'd wishes for a particular kind of monster, then the exact same monster will hatch from the egg. However, if he wants something powerful, then he will need to be super powerful as well. Isekai'd asks for the price, and it's a shocking 10 red gold coins. It's a high prices, but it could be a great investment if this egg keeps giving monsters that can be turned into familiars. On that note, Isekai'd buys the monster Egg of Hope and takes it to a hotel. The girls want to know what kind of monster he will choose, as they are confident his magical power will give him whatever he wishes for. As Isekai'd thinks about what he wants, Serti asks him if he wishes to go to a kitty shop. It's a strange thing for your own babe to tell you, but even Iri is on board with it because all the girls here were first at a kitty shop. Of course, he asks his babes if they are fine with this, but they tell him that he should feel free to do as he pleases. They'll be waiting for him in the suite, which will be pampering them a lot. Now, our hero goes to the kitty shop in Astoria, and he is greeted by a huge selection of pretty monster girls. The place is called the Love and Dragon, and the manager asks if Isekai'd is new here. He sure is, but his intrusive thoughts aren't, so he asks to see the selection available for him. The monster girls are nice to him, even calling him Oni-san, which is probably because of his demon tamer skill. The main problem though is that all the girls he sees have flat-screen TVs. Isekai'd falls to the floor, not knowing how he should get out of here without looking rude. However, before he can come up with a solution, a new demon girl shows up. She is stunning and a total babe, but more importantly, she wishes to accompany our hero. The manager is confused, but she says that she wants Isekai'd to join her as she feels a strong magical aura from him. Isekai'd will find it hard to say no to such a knockout, but he does mention that he prefers girls with massive pillows. This does not seem to be a problem for this new demon girl as she is able to increase her size with magic. Naturally, everyone is shocked to see this, even the manager of the kitty shop. The demon girl now takes Isekai'd to an amazing room, which happens to be her own. He does not follow, so she explains that she started this kitty shop, but chose to give it away now. She only has the rights to this room so that she can come back to it once her husband passes. And as it so happens, he is indeed no more. The demon girl's name is Velvet, and we learn that she has had 16 husbands, all of whom have passed away. At first, Isekai'd was liking her pillows, but now he has something to be scared of. He asks Velvet why she had so many husbands, and she reveals that she is actually a succubus. These demon girls like to feed on elephant water, and Velvet can't seem to control herself any longer. Things kick off with some tongue-twister action, and things get super freaky. Now, Isekai'd knows that succubus girls can suck the life out of their mates, but he is not going to let that stop him because he is a true Giga Chad at this point. Our hero dives into a long, strenuous battle, with one explosion after the other happening from both ends. Isekai'd starts to feel tired because of how much elephant water Velvet is draining, but he will not lose this fight. He brings out his recovery potions to help with his efforts, and then he gets back to it in beast mode. He grabs Velvet's tail, which turns out to be her weak spot, so he does unspeakable things with it as well. Our hero totally wins his battle against Velvet and completely drains her kitty water, which has never happened to her before. Suddenly her body starts to glow, so Isekai'd asks her if she is fine. She says she is, but also calls Isekai'd her master. Our hero is a bit confused now because he has no idea what has caused this. Velvet says it's very simple that he has become her master, because there is now a mark on her body. This mark proves that a succubus girl's body and mind have both been corrupted. Velvet explains that her mother was also given such a mark by her father, who also happened to be the very first demon lord. It's a serious flex for Isekai'd to have become the master of a demon lord's daughter, and he happily takes Velvet in as his companion. Back at the hotel, our hero tells his babes that he has another one joining them soon. They are surprised that their master has gotten a succubus girl to become his slave, but are concerned for him as well. His potions did help him out, and he will pick up Velvet in 4 days. The girls are interested to see what kind of girl Velvet will be, and honestly speaking, Isekai'd truly is living the dream life. Now, everyone comes back home, but we can see that Isekai'd is super tired at work. Basically, he played elephants and kitties at home right before coming to work, so he doesn't have much energy left in him. The girls tell him to rest, and they will do the cleanup of the store, so Isekai'd rushes back to his bed. He notices the egg of hope as well, and remembers that he has to pour some magic into it. He'll take a break before hatching it, and he thinks about what he wants. He now has 6 absolute stunners who call him master, so he doesn't need a babe anymore. Isekai'd then figures that he should get a monster who has healing attributes and is also cute. After a lot of careful consideration, our hero decides to put his magic into this egg, and soon enough, it hatches to reveal a cute monster. It's great timing because the girls come back too, and they notice the little monster. As expected, they find him to be super cute as well, and they can't get over how sweet this little bugger is. The monster has a red stone on his head, which could mean it's a gem, but everyone is just focusing on how he's cutely eating his food. The girls are completely in love with this new monster who is indeed quite adorable. After playing with everyone for a while, the monster goes to sleep, and then Serti reveals that he is a carbuncle. These beasts are supposed to bring good luck, and our hero is looking forward to it. He gives him the name Carl because of the first and last parts of carbuncle. Now, Serti tells Isekai'd that he will need to take Carl to the guild to register him, because he has to make him his legal familiar. The registration is done instantly, and Carl is given a collar for proof of registration. The reception girl also found Carl to be super cute, so she tells Isekai'd to come here again. Even at the stores, everyone seems to like Carl, so Isekai'd gets some free stuff as well. All of these items are for Carl, and he seems to be liking his new bed. Now Serti says that the bed is a magical tool which can block all kinds of sounds and vibrations, which means that Isekai'd can get his freak on with his harem without having to worry about waking up Carl. This does seem to be a good idea, so Isekai'd puts the bed to test right away by engaging in a shady session with his girls. It goes on for a very long time, almost as if our hero is trying to beat Bonnie Blue and Lily Phelps in terms of marathon stamina. Even after all the shady action, we can see that Carl is fast asleep, meaning the bed really is magical. Now, Isekai'd cleans the room from all the elephant water and kitty water that's spread everywhere. He then goes to sleep with all his babes, showing us all that dreams can come true indeed. Now, we move to the next morning where Isekai'd is still in bed, but he can feel something nigh. He wonders if his girls are giving him a wake-up tongue twister, but it's actually a different sensation, and it turns out to be Carl. He wants to sleep with his master too, and it's a cute moment for them. His girls are watching him from the door, and they find this adorable as well. It does take them some time to wake up because he does not want to move, but they do eventually head outside. The group explores the town with Carl to make him aware of his surroundings, and then he suddenly points to a park because he wants to play. Carl is shown to be an active pet, as he jumps into the air to play fetch, which leads to a fun day out. After playing for a while, Carl goes to sleep as he is tired from all the action. Now that everyone else has gone back home apart from Isekai'd and his babes, our hero thinks it's time to do some suspicious public activity. Riri and Iri kick things off with a double tongue twister which makes the other girls restless, but they wait for their turns. Once these two are done, the others get ready, but then Carl wakes up, so Isekai'd decides not to traumatize his pet. Now, the team buys some ingredients for dinner and heads back home. A whole night of shady acts is followed by a busy day at the store yet again. The girls get some help from Mark, who is now bringing potions to them as well. The customers like seeing a cute monster at the store, as it does well for goodwill. After a heavy day at work, Isekai'd is ready to head out, as he needs to go collect Velvet. The whole squad gathers around Serti, who uses transfer magic to take them to the land of demons quicker than the Flash. They head towards the kitty shop now, and the girls can't wait to meet a succubus girl. Serti is also excited to meet someone older than her, and suddenly, everyone sees a person running towards them. This person is running really fast, and it turns out to be none other than Velvet herself. She is overjoyed to see her new master, as she embraces him. She exchanges tongues with him and says that she had been really lonely these past 4 days without him. Now, the succubus girl greets the other babes and says she is looking forward to working with them. Each of the girls introduces herself to Velvet, and Iri also shows her Carl. Isekai'd says it's time for a welcome party, and Velvet is on board, but she wants to know how everyone got here in the first place. Serti reveals that she used transfer magic, and then takes Velvet back to their home along with the rest of the squad. Velvet is impressed by Serti's powers, but she says all of this is because of her lover boy. The succubus girl can sense all the power and energy flowing through the bodies of the other girls too. But then she is asked why she specifically refers to our hero as her master. That's when she reveals the mark on her body, which signifies her body and soul being one with Isekai'd now. The girls can't believe that their lover boy was able to dominate a succubus girl to such an extent, but now they are jealous as well. After all, this is proper proof of them being Isekai'd's girls, and they start talking about it passionately. Velvet can sense their feelings, so she says that she can give them these marks as well. She does say, though, that having a mark like this would mean forming a proper master and slave relationship with our hero. This means that the girls can never get with any other man, and if Isekai'd were to lose his life, then the same thing would happen to them. The girls don't need to use their big brain energy for this, as they all say yes without any hesitation. Velvet is impressed by their dedication, so she tells the babes to get into their birthday suits in order to get the mark. The girls call out to Isekai'd now, who is busy feeding Carl. He shows up and joins a magical circle with Listina, after which Velvet begins the process. The way to get such a mark is a bit suspicious, but no one at Comic Guzzlers would object to it. Isekai'd blushes as he sees this, because even he can only control his feelings to a certain point. After a bit of time, Lestina gets her mark, and she is now completely her master's girl. She is very happy to have achieved this, and the others can't wait for their turns too. Isekai'd watches on as Riri, Konya, and Serti also get their marks from Velvet. They thank the succubus girl for her efforts, as they feel this is a way to rewrite all the wrongs that had been done to them before Isekai'd came along. Velvet says that there is no need to be so formal with her, as they are all working together to make their master happy. The welcome party is going to be fun, but then Isekai'd realizes that they are all out of dragon meat. The girls are shocked, but Velvet had no idea that this household eats dragons. Isekai'd wants the welcome party to be perfect, so he decides to go out and hunt one. The succubus girl really can't believe that this is a normal thing anyway. Serti teleports them all to a dragon dungeon, and they all find themselves in front of a huge dragon. Isekai'd takes it out with one shot, just like Saitama, and is glad to get his meat. Velvet, on the other hand, is trying to digest what she has just witnessed. After the welcome party, it's shady business as usual, and the succubus girl says that she has truly fallen for an unbelievable man. Even her demon lord father would not have been able to beat a dragon that size without injury, but our hero did it with ease. She also enjoys the taste of dragon meat, so she admits that despite being so old, she still has a lot to learn. Now, everyone plays in the bathtub, and the girls tell us that even if they are not strong enough to beat dragons, Isekai'd makes them happy, and they too want to make him happy. Velvet feels that she can totally get along with this lifestyle, and she embraces her master with a sincere kind of love after the bath. Things are really amazing for our hero, so we really must wonder if he will ever face a problem in this story at all. Will more babes be added to his already god-level harem? Will he end up working for the king due to what he had done for Jotari? There's more to explore, but for now we have come to the end of this video. Like, share, and subscribe if this is the kind of potion life that suits you best. I'll keep making more of these for you as long as you keep watching them, so please also comment the parts you enjoyed the most. I know there's some censorship, but that's the only way to keep these videos safe. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one.